it should know now that I'm streaming.
Stream is offline.
Starting now.
Okay, still loading then.
And sooner or later it should pop up. Like it's telling me now that it's getting my information. So hopefully you guys should see it soon.
I think it has started now.
Oh, yep.
Yep, it has.
I'm going to be running back and forth and back. I am noticing a little bit of a frame rate dip, but nothing too major. I'm still at close to 60 frames per second. It's just as 59. So I'm not really noticing a dip.
Looks good in the video.
Oh, you're seeing everything?
Yeah.
I just said that.
Okay. Jit, can you hear them at all when they talk to me? Can anyone hear me? Anyone hear me at all?
Hopefully.
I can hear you fine.
I'm getting a couple of frame rate dips, but nothing major. I mean, I can still play. I don't think it's going to kill me.
Yes, I can hear them when they talk to you.
Oh, perfect. All right.
There's a delay. I had to wait until the video caught up.
Yeah, I can hear myself in the video.
Yeah,
so.
it seems all right. It seems to be recording everything, so...
Okay, then. Well, then this is going to be it. In case anybody's going to be watching this later, or if anybody's watching this now, welcome to my rather befuddled, somewhat disorganized live stream of my Dark Souls 2 New Game Plus run. This is... My Dark Souls live stream tends to be an annual thing that I do to celebrate the end of the year and the beginning of the new year and just have fun with the few subscribers that I have. And this one's no different. The only difference is that it's not exactly annual because I'm now doing this in the next year instead of New Year's like I normally do for reasons. Also, instead of this being just a separate thing unconnected to any series that I normally put on, this is actually going to be a continuation of my New Game Plus run. It's just that I'm doing it live. So any people who want to be in on this and want to, be in on the chat and whatever and have any live questions for me, they actually are going to be able to do it now. But this is just generally a continuation of my New Game Plus run. Also, what's making this special is that I decided to invite Skolagrim and his wife Kara in on the stream with me. Oh, sorry. Well,
their spouse.
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 Spouse works. I didn't know what to say. I was gonna say mate, but that's normally the word that I use for myself.
Mate.
I work with mate. You know I'm horribly British.
But mate is generally what I use for myself. I didn't know if that would work for you, so I kind of went with the default. But yeah, introduce yourselves, guys, in case anyone hasn't figured out already that you're in there.
Well, yeah, I'm Skal. You might have seen me on the interwebs.
Right.
I'm the guy who does sword stuff.
Oh, lately you've been doing explodey stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm doing gun stuff. Whatever just crosses my mind at the time.
I sort of wish I could do gun stuff myself, but I don't really have anything exciting to do that with.
Well, I've told you, finally move over here, then we're going to the range together.
Yeah, that could probably work very well, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that in the near future. Have you guys been paying attention at all to my Dark Souls 2 playthroughs? It's okay if you haven't. It's not exactly like a lot of people watch them anyway.
No, I haven't. Dark Souls is just hasn't been interesting me all that much. I mean, I played the first one for a while, but then I just lost interest. It may be rekindled at some time. Who knows?
I've kind of been trying to stay away from Dark Souls. It's
too infuriating.
Like that, so challenging and everything, but my life is hard enough as is. I don't need to play hard video games on top of that.
That is pretty much the same thing that Jit tells me. Like every time I keep trying to, like, you should try it. You like exploration, you like interesting worlds. And she's like, yeah, but I like being able to live through them. So yeah, she's pretty much of the same mindset. And the only thing I have to say to that is, and I'm not trying to force you guys to play it, it's just that it's not as hard as everybody says it is. Yes, it is difficult, but it's not like, only the chosen few are going to be able to get through. I know that...
I do have to agree. I mean, judging by how it went with Dark Souls when I played it, Um, it's the kind of thing that it punishes you when you screw up. Like
Yeah.
it's not unfair by any means, but it's just you. At least I had to try the same passage quite a few times to get it right, and it does get a little annoying at times.
Well, I anything. I spent, I believe, 14 minutes or so on the last run in Ori and the Blind Forest because one mistake and nope, the owl gets you.
You
Ugh.
gotta start all over. It's like an old school sort of mindset, like the old NES
Yes.
game mindset, where if you screw up, that's it. But you learn from it, and the next time you get through it, you feel that you're a little bit better at playing it. So, and I like that aesthetic. I actually miss that in games, which is part of the reason why I'm so drawn to these games. The other reason is just the aesthetic of the game itself, the kind of dark fantasy and that sort of fading hope that's going on in this world. And maybe that says something about my personality, but I really like the kind of dark setting that this game has. You know, where
It's neat for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Personally, I must have lost patience for hard games over the years because I remember when I was in my teenage years, I did play some Battletoads, for example, and got pretty far, and I had apparently more of a patience for sticking to it and just doing it again and again and again. But that may very well also have been something to do with, you just had a small selection of games that, you just had that, and what else are you going to play? There is not much, so you do it.
Yeah, do you remember our idiotic idea to play Battletoads in two-player mode?
Oh dear Lord, I would have told you that was a bad idea.
Yes,
We wanted to
everybody
try.
would tell you.
It is a really bad idea. But I will say that this game is not at Battletoads levels of frustration because I played through
No.
that game, and let's just put it this way: I played through Battletoads. I got to the end of Battletoads. I'm never playing Battletoads again. Dark Souls 1 and 2, I keep playing over and over again. I got multiple save files. I even got one based on you, Skull, that I went through the game with.
That's
And
funny.
I just have a lot of fun with it. Anyway, where I'm at right now... No, thank you, sir. Where I'm at right now is underneath Hyde's Tower of Flame, and it's basically a passage to the next area. So I'm kind of dealing with some of the same creatures that I had to deal with in Hyde's Tower of Flame, where there was two bosses, one of them sort of optional, though not really. And these guys are really, really easy to beat up. Like that last dude, he's a little bit harder because of the hitbox on that swing of his. But these fools are ridiculously easy. You just walk circles around them and then you hit them on their blind side until they die. See what I mean? Like, they're no challenge whatsoever. Especially if you've played through a game like this before. I hear somebody.
Here's potentially what it comes down to with most of that type of game. Have you played it before? Do you know the strategy?
Yeah, that also helps, though. To be honest, if you've never played a Dark Souls game in your life, you can still get through it. The number one rule I have to say that will get you through these games is pay the hell attention.
Yeah.
And keep your defenses up. Those are like...
talking to you in the chat, by the way.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That means people are actually watching. I can't believe it. Here we go. I should have said what those items were, but they were just basic items. I think you had a human effigy in there, which basically keeps you human if you die. And dark troches, which are basically defenses against dark magic and dark attacks in the game. Soul of a Proud Knight, which is basically currency. And the Old Knight Halberd, which might as well look at the description of it real quick. The weapons I'm using, by the way, Skull, these are blue flames, and I leveled them up as high as they possibly go. Their moveset is not the best. Like, I still think like the longsword and the saber probably has some of the better movesets. The moveset for this weapon is very weird. I mean, look at this. You'll see it sooner or later. It's like a weird upswing and then a weird downswing. And that's what you're gonna get.
It's kind of weird to see everything delayed. Like,
Yeah, I know.
to see what you're talking about, even though I know that for the viewers it all seems synchronized.
Yeah, but for you,
It's
it's
kinda
gonna
weird.
be delayed.
I think either of us also is at different points in the video. I'm not sure. Are you up to date?
I am actually. I clicked on. Yeah. Okay.
There. Now you are.
There. But there's some delay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Fine.
think there's like a 10-second delay. Either
Yep.
a 10 to 30-second delay. I'm not too sure.
But I just saw that it for some reason in the beginning I clicked on live to be up to date, somehow lagged behind, and I just had to click on it again for it to be up to date, which is, or up to date minus the 10 seconds, which is weird.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep swinging until you see them. This is like the basic swing, and it's just like this weird uppercut and then a downward slash. And
Yeah, now I see it.
I mean, okay.
He's hitting the floor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're trashing the swords all the time.
Yeah, which drives me nuts. And the thing is, like, it will work against you in this game also. I mean, unless I look up, like, if I swing, and I'm still slashing the floor, so there's not much I can do about it. But there's also, like, times when you'll be fighting an enemy near a wall, and then you'll end up with, like, you'll see it soon, where my weapon ricochets against the wall, which is a bad thing in narrow areas, because then, meanwhile, they're doing things like, stabbing you and skewering you with spears, and then you die. So you got to be careful in tight areas, because, you got to deal with weapon ricochet.
Can you check the chat?
I will... Okay, hold on. Well, the problem is if I check the chat, then everyone's going to see in a black screen. That's the problem. If I tab out, I don't have dual monitors like a lot of other more professional people do. So if I tab out to see the chat, then you guys are going to be staring at a black screen for a while I check out questions.
I think the question that Jid wants you to see is from Demo Man Chaos. So any chance this crazed idiot can get in on the voice stuff, 2 per mayhaps.
There is probably a way I can get Demo Man on there. Demo Man, if you are hearing this soon, well, obviously you are, I have to get you in on a Skype call because Google did not deem it worthy to set up an easy way to just put people in on the stream like they normally do with their live streams. With the gaming stream, I can't invite anyone in. So I had to set up a complicated Skype setup in order to get these guys in there. I could try to get you in on that, and that's going to be, leading some complications, and yeah, I was lucky to get these 2 in. Let's just put it that way. That's the only reason why this is, set up the way it is. So.
Well, then it pretty much just comes down to, do you have Demo Man in your Skype?
Yeah, I think I do. Anyway, I'm just going further on in the game while we're still chatting. So I do promise, for those of you who watched my games before and want to learn more about the game itself, I will get into the lore and stuff like that of this particular area. But there really isn't much to say about this particular area right now, which is why we're talking about other stuff. It's just, we're going on to the next area, and it looks like it's a cathedral that is sunk underground. As we will see later on, there's going to be an area that's submerged in water, and this is obviously a cathedral that has sank beneath the waves, and it's probably continuing to sink or something.
So it's still going down?
Yep, I'm still going further down. And down and down. And then later on we're going to be raising up.
Actively still sinking.
Yeah. Yeah, possibly. I mean, I don't know I don't think it's actively sinking. Like, it's not like as you're playing through the game, you're noticing, oh my god, the building's going down. I'm just saying, like, it possibly, like, long term, that maybe the area is still kind of sinking beneath the waves. Because the area that I went through before I got here, so much of the area you can see is submerged in water. Like, you see buildings slowly going down. You see, like, major parts of the area has already fallen into the sea. So I guess, for background, information, like background story-wise, that's the reason that maybe this area might be slowly sinking as well. Like, you'll see me going down an elevator. Like, as I'm saying this right now, I'm going down an elevator, and I'm going to be in an area which is already submerged. So, here we go. Also, you may be noticing that earlier on, I swapped out the crown that I was wearing. The only reason why I was wearing that crown in the first place is because on my last playthrough of the game, that crown kept me from hollowing after I died, like basically looking like a piece of human beef jerky. Well, when you start the game over again, that crown no longer has that effect. So even though the crown does up my stats in other ways, the stats don't level me up that much for me to keep it on my head. So now I just got it on the hood.
People are saying they can't hear you over combat.
They can't hear me over combat. Well, shite. Alright, then hold on for a second. There is one slight adjustment I'm going to do, and hopefully it will help. Though that means that the screen is going to look black for a split second, or it might be frozen for a second.
It's just the in-game sound, Mark.
Yeah, the in-game sound is a little bit too loud. So what I'm going to do... Or, you know, actually what I could do is just simply lower it through the game itself. So let me just do it that way.
Do you have them on Skype?
Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Ba-dum, video settings, game settings, there we go. And music volume and sound effect volume. I'm going to lower the sound effects to here.
Nope.
Okay.
And hopefully that will work. Alright, so, and my next bit of battle, you guys can tell me if me talking is going to be completely swallowed by the sound effects. And I'm just basically fighting this loser again.
I wouldn't know.
Okay, so I just took out another mook, just basically walk circles around him. You guys will soon see me that I'm wading through water, and yes, as you're going through water, your movements are hindered. You are moving slower than normal. So you gotta be careful when you're fighting things while you're in the water, but as I said, these guys are really easy to deal with, so it's not that much of a problem. You may also notice that I kind of switch stances when I'm fighting these guys. There's like my normal default stance where I can use each weapon independently, which has some uses, but for the most part, it's a lot better to go into your dual stance, where you can, with one button, you swing one sword, and then with the other button, you swing both weapons at once. Which, while in real life, swinging both weapons at once is probably not a smart way to fight, in this game, it does at least boost up your damage, and it actually is a more effective way to use the weapons. So once again, video game logic kind of reverses the way things work in real life. Go figure. And here you end up with the knight helm, knight armor, knight gauntlets, and knight leggings, which are, they're decent enough armor, especially if you got crappy armor starting out in the game, but I'm already using a better set, so there's no reason for me to switch.
So, wait, knight leggings?
Knight leggings, yes.
Please tell me they have those silly poofy looking things on top.
No, they do not. Though I do think there is a set of armor that does. Hold on for a second. Just for your purposes, I will put on the knight set so you can see what they look like. Alright, the low knight leggings. Where are you? You're around somewhere. I really need to clean out my inventory. I got way too much crap. Okay, so that's the knight leggings. And the knight... Where are you?
That's not a pair of leggings, that's an overly long set of boots.
Yeah, but they call them knight leggings. Knight gauntlets, the knight armor itself, which personally, they look okay, but they're not my favorite. Where are they?
It's a better.
There's knight armor, and then if I wanted to, the knight helmet, which would be that. That's what I would look like if I was wearing the full knight set, and it's okay. I mean, it's got decent enough stats. And it basically just, the description for them is just basically saying it's metal helmet worn by knights, standard issue for new Drang-like knights, and they've long trusted this helmet for its excellent functionality. I, however, do not like how it looks, and therefore I just end up wearing hoods for some weird reason. I don't know why I'd rather wear hoods, but I do.
Wannabe mage?
Yeah, wannabe mage. I like mages. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that magic is a little bit too easy in this game, I'd be going through as a sorcerer, but I kind of like the combat.
Says the guy who plays the rogue in our group.
I like playing rogues too, but I also like playing magic users. Like, I always like having at least a little bit of magic in my repertoire. So
are you telling me both of us are normally playing arcane rogues?
yes, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
We should never play some MMOs together.
Yeah, who's the tank, huh?
You normally.
I don't like playing tanks.
Well, I hate playing tanks. That's why I normally forced out to do it.
I sometimes like playing tank, but...
Like, the problem with me, and it's the same reason why I don't play tank-like characters in Dark Souls, I hate the fact of playing as someone who's just there to take hits. I don't want to take hits. I want to dodge hits and then hit you.
Yep.
That's the way I act in real life, and that's the way I play these games.
tanks tend to be a little boring. You're just standing there and just spamming attacks, which don't do much, and you just
Exactly, and you're just there to take hits. So like, no, thank you. Now
I could make a comment about another friend now.
Now-
Always wants to play tanks. But it'll be nice.
Now, you guys should see by now, because I let the lag catch up, there is a weird-looking character in front of me. Not hostile, and they won't be hostile as long as I don't swing at them. That's the way Dark Souls works. If you see an NPC and you don't swing at them, then they will pretty much talk to you, for the most part.
For the most.
Got on a weird mask, and it's actually... This is a female character. Like, some people would instantly think, oh, it must be male, especially because of that mask. But no, it's a female character, and is actually one of the more interesting NPCs in the game, in my opinion.
What is it?
Okay.
Lucatiel.
There he is.
Yep, look at you.
Things are better.
A good old Lucy.
So,
Nice.
do we have somebody new in the chat?
Yep.
Maybe.
Ah, there you are. What's up? So
Not a lot.
We got Demo Man Chaos in on the group now, and
We.
he, as I have, played through this game numerous times, so we know it backwards and forwards at this point. So there is probably going to be some extra tidbits that he'll be able to add in that I may have forgotten to add. But right now, this is Lucatio, and as you can see, when I first start talking to her, she's kind of standoffish, but if you keep talking to her, she kind of warms up.
So you're just gonna do that for the next 5 minutes, talking to her until she likes you?
People keep a
Pretty
safe
much, though, it's
distance
not
when
like
they
5
see this
minutes.
mask. But you... I'm called Lucatio.
I don't think that's how it works in real life.
From the
No, it
land
doesn't.
of Mira to the
Yeah, I don't
far
think you should.
across the mountains. They say
But then again, these people are undead, so things might be a little different for
So
them.
I came to claim
Yeah,
my
I
a
shouldn't
little
say
bad here.
anything. I'm literally drawing my new vampire character while talking here.
And the wounds did not prepare me.
Much for undead, huh?
Well,
But yeah, the undead there might be a little starved for attention.
Indeed. I've always made a point of avoiding people, while you've made a point of engaging me.
Well, I got nothing else better to do.
I come from Mira, a land
Skip
of
the line.
knights. My sword is always ready. Don't hesitate to call upon me. Whatever happens, I won't be missed.
Okay, you'll hear the rest of her dialogue, but I'm just going to continue on from now. Actually, I'm
I
recording.
come, don't
Yeah,
hesitate.
didn't mean to do that. I ended up having her repeat her dialogue. But basically, if you keep talking to her enough, then she's going to be like, okay, since you decided to keep talking to me, I find you intriguing. So from now on, if you ever need any help, I will help you out. That's just another fancy way of the game telling you that you now have somebody who you can summon to help you go through levels or to fight certain bosses. And normally when I play through Dark Souls games, I don't bother, but in her case, I do bring her in only to continue her storyline along. Because if you don't bring her into boss battles and keep her alive while the fight's going on, then you're going to kind of miss out on her story. So you kind of have to, drag her along, so to speak.
yeah, and she's not very good at surviving.
No, she's not.
Have you ever had any freaking NPC in any game that's good at surviving?
Tarkus from Dark Souls 1.
Yeah, Darkus was a beast.
Yes, he was. And then there's, of course, what's the name of that jester dude?
Marvelous Chester?
Yeah, Marvelous Chester. That dude can survive.
Yeah, he can take the boss on his own. You don't need to even do anything. Just kind of stand there and let him kill it. His pyromancy is crazy, and you have to actually fight him in a DLC area, which is great fun.
Yeah.
And too bad that they're not mysterious strangers, huh?
Yeah.
Fallout style just appeared, gone, done.
All right. Now, you may notice that she just disappeared after I sat on the bonfire, so it's just kind of, just suggesting that she went on her way, instead of actually just showing her that she went on her way, but the game does have its limitations.
Well, I've been told that Dark Souls is pretty much we're just gonna give you some random clues and hints, and that's what we'll call storytelling.
Yeah, pretty much. And for the most part, it works. Like, I actually kind of like that setup, because it not only, like, the game, like I said, it rewards you for paying the hell attention to what's going on around you, because otherwise you get ambushed and brutally murdered. But it also forces you to pay attention to the story itself. Like, they only give you just enough hints of what's going on, But if you pay attention to what people are saying, or if you look very carefully at the area around you, like look at certain symbols or certain statues, or when you're reading the item descriptions of certain items you get a bigger picture of what might be going on. And it does end up giving you a much deeper game than you thought you were playing. Now, having said that, it does open up a major weakness to Dark Souls 2, which I've been kind of hinting at and alluding to in my other videos about the game. And it's the fact that Dark Souls 2 was originally being developed by the guy who apparently didn't know what the hell he was doing. That was Shibuya. I forgot his surname, but Shibuya was one of the main directors for the game. He was one of the first people that they were, who they announced to us was going to be heading off this game. The problem was, apparently during development, he was doing a lot of things that just weren't working. And so they kind of had to kick him out in mid-development. And then they put Yui Tanimura on to finish the game up. But then Yuri Tanimura had the Herculean task of trying to put together a lot of disparate elements into the game and trying to make them work with the new framework. Like they had to rewrite certain parts of the game and certain parts of the story. They had to repurpose characters and areas. They had to switch things around. So for the most part, we ended up with, a game that's a bit of a mess, both lore-wise and action-wise. And for the most part, it still works. It's still a good game. I mean, it's a lot better than a lot of other games on the market, honestly. But it's for somebody trying to look at the background clues of the game and trying to figure out what the hell is going on, you're just going to get frustrated because there's just a lot of things that don't work, and part of it is because of the kind of last-minute damage control that they were trying to do.
That, and I think originally a lot of the translations for some of the items and descriptions and stuff were really wrong.
Yes, they were.
I think there was originally some things about the pursuer's weapons and shield that was really goofed.
Yeah. Like, for instance, the fact that they named the original translation kind of, and I think that mistake is still in there, how they make the pursuer look like it's one dude chasing you, when in fact it's a number of those guys chasing you. There's more than one pursuer, which is why you keep bumping into them throughout the game.
Yeah, it's hard to say that there's only one when a New Game Plus you can fight two of them at the same time.
For all you know, that's just an illusion.
They don't leave a corpse.
Very much.
A decoy.
Oh, by the way, earlier you may have seen me trying to switch out weapons. What I was trying to do was swap out my weapons for something that would be a little bit more interesting than showing me using the blue flames all the time. I wanted to go with one of my favorite combinations, which was a rapier-type weapon with a saber-type weapon, but apparently I don't have it in my inventory. Maybe I put it in my item box, so I'm actually going to check that right now real quick.
Yeah, I mean, you're right by a bonfire, so why not?
So I might as well check it out. Let's see if it's in my item box. Do I have upgraded saber at all anywhere in this mess that I call an inventory?
It is a weird combination. I kind of want to try it out. Saber and rapier dual weapon.
It's one of the better...
Not in the game, but in reality. In the game, it's actually really darn good.
Yes, it is.
But I really love the moveset of the curved swords when you're using them in the left hand.
And apparently I do not have an upgraded version in here. Ugh. Oh, mon dieu, mon dieu. I can't believe how unprepared I am for this. Okay, you know what? I mean, I could go with dual rapiers, but I hate using that in this game. I know it was done in real life, but it's not that... Oh, wait a minute. There's a scimitar right here. It's just not upgraded. Why the hell didn't I upgrade it?
I do see that this is definitely a game that would get me pissed off simply at the stuff in my inventory. I'm the type of role player who just sells everything I'm not using.
You can do that, but that's one of the biggest problems with Dark Souls. You cannot easily... Well, you can easily get rid of weapons in the sense of you can just drop them on the ground and say, the hell with this, I'm not keeping this anymore. But as far as selling, they always made that really convoluted and annoying. Like in the first Dark Souls, you had to wait until like in the middle part of the game to find one character who'd be willing to buy weapons off of you.
And it wasn't even for that much. It's only like 100 per thing.
Like, it was just really pathetic. So, you know, most people didn't even bother. And in this game, There actually is somebody who will buy stuff off of you for at least slightly better prices. But again, you have to find him. And incidentally enough, he's in this level that we're in right now.
Yeah, and he moves around too. So he can't just go right back to where he was to sell more stuff.
Do you need money in this game?
Everything is done through souls. Literally, like, if you may notice that every time I kill a creature, he, gives me a certain amount of souls. Everything is done through souls. It is the #1 currency in here. So you want to buy weapons? You need souls for that. You want to level up? You need souls for that. You need a certain service done? You need souls for that.
So wait, you can level up by selling stuff.
You level up by using a certain amount of souls to do it. Ow.
Yeah, but in a sense, if you sell stuff, you get souls. Then you can use those souls to level up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the other way.
Merchants are powerful.
Yeah, and also, but I find it kind of funny though that it's all done with souls. Like money means nothing in this land. In fact, like in the first Dark Souls, they even made a point of actually having coins you can find, and the descriptions of the coins basically say, in this land, coins are useless. People don't trade with money, they trade with souls. I mean, just think about how effed up a place is that, oh no, we only deal with life forces here. If you kill anybody to get those life forces, good, then that means we can trade.
Well, look at
shit! I forgot about this guy.
Seem like that is a place you want to live in.
Not really.
This actually leads me to something that is non-video game related, but it's something that I actually wanted to make a video on. And it's something about the culture I live in right now where I'm dealing with people who... I can understand their frustration right now because they're all worried about losing their rights to own weapons. Though here's a hint, even though in the United States with all its weapon regulations, this is ultimately a gun culture, so they're never going to get rid of our chances of owning weapons. But I'm noticing a certain subsect of people who believe that we should be able to carry weapons all the time, no matter where we are and no matter what type of civilization we're in. You should be able to, at any point in time, carry, really powerful weaponry. And while I don't have I mean, this is me we're talking about. I don't have a problem with people owning weapons, period. I own weapons. I think anybody should be able to own weapons. But...
wait a moment. I have a problem with the anybody.
Yeah, well, anybody. Well, you know what I mean. Like, okay, normal people should be able to have a chance to own weapons. Obviously certain psychotics or, certain people probably shouldn't be owning them. But I personally have a problem with people saying, no, you should be able to go anywhere. I should be able to go to Denny's carrying my freaking bazooka, and that shouldn't be a problem. Look at this game. This is a game where right now, the atmosphere of this game is, I'm in an area that is lost hope. It's full of undead and all types of creatures that are trying to murder me. And the only way to get items I need is to trade with souls. Like literally the life force of people. This is obviously a very dangerous land where civilization is not even a word, barely even a forethought. Like this is not a place where we'd want to live. So being able to walk around here with powerful swords and axes and magical spells or, just really powerful stuff, it would make sense. You would need to be able to carry something like that.
Yeah.
But in 21st century Earth, I mean, unless you happen to be living in the Congo, there is no reason for you to feel the need to have to, I'm going to be going out to a restaurant. I need to carry this, freaking AK-47. There's no, if you honestly believe that you are living in a time period in a Western civilized world where you need to carry weapons like that every time you walk out the door, your civilization is failing, my friend.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I guess if you live in Detroit, I can kind of see that, or some places. But...
Yeah, and even in Detroit, you don't necessarily need to carry weapons everywhere. I was born in
No,
New
of
York
course,
City.
you're a road cop.
Like, I came from New York City, and there was never really a time I felt the need to carry a weapon all the freaking time. In fact, the only time I honestly felt that, shit, I need to start walking around carrying weapons is when I moved to Indiana and got robbed at gunpoint. I mean, I lived in New York City and never got robbed at gunpoint. But when I moved out here, things changed. Just goes to show you.
Indiana is harder than New York City.
I don't know. On the other hand, I'm kind of sitting here and going, This is so weird that this actually happens to people, which shows me pretty much of, yeah, I kind of lived in privileged countries, I think.
Yeah, people don't, like, people always think that they have the worst experience until they start paying attention to what's going on around them that isn't necessarily, you know, super close to them. But yeah, some places it's rather, you know, good to live in. In other places, yeah, you need to watch your back at all times. You know?
Yeah, and then it also really depends on the neighborhood. Like Prince George, for example, has some really, really rough parts. Overall, has some pretty high crime rate compared to other cities. But if you stay in the right, you know, in the right areas of the city, it's no big deal.
Also, please, you still need to say it has a really high crime rate for Canada.
Yes, by Canadian standards, it's also a difference.
Don't forget, we call 4 murders a year an incredibly dangerous city.
Jeez, I wish I was living in a place like that. Actually, I should start, you know, actually pretending that I'm playing a game and talk about what I've been doing. This area is called No Man's Wharf, as you guys have probably surmised when the name No Man's Wharf popped up on the screen.
You don't say.
What is interesting about this place, and you only really get a sense of this if you're reading the Japanese translations of this area, is that this was supposed to be a place where undead were processed.
Lovely.
The English version of the game just basically says this is a place where undead just kind of came through. But this was more a place where they were just shipped off somewhere. Like, okay, we got all these undead that we need to get rid of. This is basically, this was kind of like a bad Ellis Island, so to speak. Like, okay, we rounded up all the undead. Let's just kind of process them through here. And then that ship you see out in the distance, we just shove them off there and then kick them off in some land and we don't have to think about them anymore. Yeah, in this world, undead were loathed and feared. And guess what? Your character is an undead. Whoop-de-doo. That's why you can die over and over again and keep coming back. Which is...
process just made me think undead salami or something. What am I making there?
Soylent Green.
Well, in some ways, yes. Not necessarily food, but as I go on, you'll see what I mean. There's
Well, in Dark Souls 1, there was a man-eater Mildred and her flock that actually ate people. So...
Now, this little thing over here, it's a contraption that uses items called Pharos Lockstones. You find plenty of them in this game, and whenever you use them, something mechanical happens. In this case, if I use a Pharos Lockstone here, this place will no longer be dark. It will actually light up. It's that big thing right up there. You'll soon see it. This big lantern, chandelier-looking thing. It will light up the entire area, and it makes it easier to see all around you. And another benefit is, you might remember that weird long-armed boogeyman thing that attacked me earlier? They hate the light, and they hate flames. So as soon as that thing lights up, all the rest of them in this area are going to freak out and run away and hide in little dark areas. So a lot of people like using that. I don't. I prefer to keep it off. And the reason why is, what the game doesn't bother to tell you is that, yeah, these creatures do get terrified of fire, and when the entire place lights up, they run away. But after a while, since the fire is on there for so long, they freak out and then go into a frenzy, and then they just get really pissed off. Like that fight or flight response that they get suddenly turns into fight. And now they run around berserk and they'll just attack you like just nonstop until you die. So
great.
This game is rough enough as it is, and I don't need to give the enemy an extra edge, so I just keep the lights off and just fight them on their terms. It ends up being easier that way.
Works.
Now, I'm now in a room where these people were dumb enough to fall asleep. Now, you don't do that around me, because then stuff like this happens. You'll see them momentarily. Yes, I will attack people in their sleep in this game. You need all the help you can get when you play Dark Souls. There's no such thing as playing fair. So,
well, this guy does love to poison things too, so he is not very nice.
Yeah, I'm not very nice when I play through this game. Demoman has noticed how I play. I'm very ruthless. I will kill things from afar. I will poison you from afar. Because this game just... It doesn't pull its punches. It doesn't give any quarter, and neither should you.
Yeah, especially when you have 3 or 4 giants with massive clubs that can basically take you out in one hit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that area is fun.
You may have noticed, like later, like in a few seconds, when I'm climbing up the stairs, I quickly roll up because there was a dude about to ambush me from above. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. They will try to ambush you or mess you up and do all these other horrible things. But again, as long as you're paying attention, you will notice these things and not fall for them.
It
Like-
does sound a little bit though as you're going, yeah, I died here before, so I know what's going to happen.
Well, actually, to be fair, when I first bumped into that, and I know that's repair powder that I picked up, that's another criticism I have about this game, and I'll get into that in a moment. But that dude didn't kill me the first time I bumped into him. I just noticed him jump from above, and I'm like, oh shit! I just rolled out the way in time. But you can hear him up there. If you pay attention, if you slowly climb the stairs and just like stay quiet, you hear him stepping around, so you know someone's up there. This is what I mean by paying attention. Like, you gotta listen to everything in the background. You have to like look around, see little ambushes going on. Like, for instance, when I was over there, if I looked up, I would have noticed that there was a boogeyman waiting for me up there if I decided to go this way. I call them boogeymen. I think they call them shadow stalkers or something in this game, but I call them boogeymen because, quite frankly, they kind of elicit that sort of feeling when you see them. They hide in the dark and they try to murder you. You know?
So pretty much what you're telling me is this is a game where you really need to listen to stuff and you have 3 people in a Skype call with you.
Yeah, it does make things a little bit harder, but I've beaten this game like 3 times already, so I kind of know where things are now. Well, sort of know where things are because I'm playing this in New Game Plus. So that means they change certain things around and they added new enemies. So there will be moments that I will be caught by surprise. It just hasn't happened yet.
Uh-huh.
Yes, unrealistic rolling to get away from enemies. And
Yes.
guys. Now, I don't really have to go through this section right now. I really... Well, no, wait a minute. I do. I'm kind of thinking ahead. I'm thinking ahead.
You gotta ring the bell.
Yeah, I have to ring the bell, so I have to go this way. Though, to be fair, I could just use a bow and arrow to shoot at the bell, and that kind of speeds things up. But, and then, I think there's another shortcut you can kind of take. Ow. That hurts. That was unfair. Well, no, actually, it was fair, but I don't like getting hit, so I'm going to say it's unfair. Alright, now I'm in this kind of wreck of a house, and if you'll notice this momentarily, those of you watching the stream. Well, okay, those of you in the Skype chat, because everyone watching the stream is seeing this the same time I am. There's a dude up there.
Mark.
Hmm?
Big Bird said hi.
Oh, hi to Big Bird. He's with every stream I do, so I definitely gotta say hi to him. There's a dude up there, everyone's favorite alcoholic, Gavlan. He's the dude that I said earlier you can trade items with. Yep, Gavlan wheel, Gavlan deal. He's up there, and we definitely want to say hello to him. Unfortunately, our favorite alcoholic has decided to sit in a building full of those long-armed monstrosities that I was dealing with before.
Where
And-
else would he be?
Yeah. Now, there's a door in front of us. In Dark Souls, you do not just open doors and walk through them. I mean, unless you have a death wish. You just don't do
Wolf
that.
says hi too.
Hi to Wolf. Hello to Wolf Soldier. So what I do is I swing at the door, and then I listen, and I can hear an alcoholic drinking up above, but I don't hear anything else. So I'm going to swing again. They're not taking the bait. This worries me. All right, I'm going to tentatively open the door, and there he is. But he seems to have a problem going through the door. I'm not too sure why. Maybe it's those freakishly long arms of his. So he just breaks the wall instead. I guess the simplest solution is the best one. But I'm leading him away from the building because I don't want to attract his friends. I've said this many times before, but when you're playing Dark Souls, you really want to fight enemies one-on-one. It is possible to fight multiples at once, but why would you do that to yourself in this game? So I just try to fight them one-on-one if I can, though I'm failing miserably at this point because I accidentally attracted both of them. So
It's only 2 of them.
well, actually there were 3, but I killed one first. Oh shit! I didn't realize the other guy caught up to me. Let me quickly drink the Mountain Dew, get my life back up, and get behind him.
What has been the most hilarious product placement of all times?
Drink Mountain Dew to replenish your mana.
Mountain Dew simply because it's yellow. I mean, I could call it like, ale or beer or lemonade. Probably should call it
Or Sunny
lemonade.
D.
Sunny D would probably be a smarter thing to do. I mean, it's not the purple stuff, it's Sunny D. Large Soul of an Undead, and Emit Force. Emit Force is a spell, or it's a miracle. Dark Souls, for those of you who don't know, they separate their spells into... Well, in Dark Souls 2, they separate it into 4 categories now. Originally, it was 3. You got dark magic, or just dark. You got sorceries, which is pretty much all the blue magic stuff you see on my inventory stuff there. You got pyromancy, which uses fire, obviously. And then you have miracles, which is pretty much your cleric spells. To make a long story short, if you do decide to become a sorcerer, it's best to stick with dark magic and don't look back. They kind of did something stupid with the magic in this game where you have... Like, before, all you really needed to do was, if you wanted to use magic, you leveled up intelligence. Makes sense, right? If you wanted to use pyromancy, pyromancy is considered a crude form of magic, so you didn't even need to level up intelligence. You just needed to level up the catalyst that you used for pyromancy. Which, after I pick up that broadsword, I don't know why I'm picking up junk. It's this little red thing that you'll soon see right here, my pyromancy flame. You just needed to level up that, and your pyromancies would be powerful. And your cleric spells, you needed to level up your faith, because obviously you needed faith in the gods to do miracles. Makes sense, right? Well, in this game, they kind of changed things around in a really stupid manner, which annoys the hell out of me. Now, if you want to use magic, you have to like level up both your intelligence and faith. Or
What?
Yeah. Like, so, for instance, if I wanted for pyromancy, for instance, you have to level up your pyromancy flame, but you also have to level up intelligence and faith because they both help to level up your fire damage. And pyromancy is all about fire, so if you want to make maximum amount of damage with your fire, you have to level up intelligence and faith to make it work. Cleric spells, I think you just need faith, but I think it also kind of... I think your adaptability also kind of helps with that.
I think it does. It might. I'm not sure. In a minute. I know it's pretty much mostly faith.
Your attunement also helps to raise up your stuff, and your adaptability also helps to raise up your spells and such. It's really annoying, and I don't know why they did that. But pyromancy, I think, really lost out, because like in the first game, pyromancy was great. You didn't even need, like, if you wanted to use magic, but you didn't want to like level up your intelligence because you're busy leveling up your strength or your dex or whatever, we'll just level up your pyromancy flame by just spending some souls, and there you go. You didn't have to worry about wasting too many points in your stat boosting. But in this game, you have to. So if you want to use pyromancy, you got to level up both your intelligence and your faith in order to get your fire damage good. But if you're doing that, then you might as well just switch over to dark magic, because dark magic needs both intelligence and faith to get good. And dark magic does more damage than pyromancy. So they just made that entire thing obsolete.
That's silly.
Great.
The only bonus for it really is that there are some healing spells and some area of effect, stuff like that. But the fire damage type is about the only benefit to pyromancy.
Yeah.
Certain enemies being weaker to fire.
But, I mean, it helps, and I use pyromancy just out of spite, because I like it, so I don't care that it's a little bit weaker than the other magics. I'm not using a pure sorcerer anyway, so screw them. But it really annoys me what they did to it here. They should have kept it the old way, where pyromancy, you level it up a certain way, and it was its own category. And I really hope they did that for Dark Souls 3, but I'm getting ahead of myself. We now have bumped into Gavlan, but before we talk to him, we got 2 chests over here. And Dark Souls has taught people to beware of chests, because horrible things can happen to you if you just open them up without caring. So,
Oh, that gives me flashbacks back to Nox.
So here's a great sword that I'll probably never use with this character. And this other one, well, before I even bother with this, I'm going to kind of break type with this particular character and see if no, I don't have a shield. No, yeah, I do have a shield. Good. I will use the shield, because this might have an arrow trap in there. So let's see, and open it up. Oh, it's a poison trap. Get away, get away, get away.
I don't know if you can actually roll through the arrow traps or not.
Well, you can, but you gotta be really, really good at like knowing what angle to roll away from. And it's been a while since I've played this game, and I am not going to make these rusty reflexes of mine try to, risk that. So
yeah, because despite only having a singular crossbow pointing forward, it fires in a 5-direction spread.
yeah, so you gotta be really
I
careful
want to
where you
get that
dodge.
crossbow.
He's magic.
But no.
They do have some pretty good crossbows in this game, though. Particularly the
Yeah, they got the triple
Avalon.
shot Avalon, which is not too
Just
bad. The
it's-
Gargoyle crossbow has a big shield on the front of it, so it's quite useful.
All right, so now we're going to talk to Gavlan.
Who are you?
I'm Nathaniel.
I, Gavlan. Gavlan wheel, Gavlan deal.
The line that he's famous for.
Gavlan wants soul. Many soul.
How can he laugh while drinking?
What you
How can he drink through his helmet?
He just
with Gavlan?
pours it through the
you,
openings, apparently.
You deal.
He also has a very magnificent beard. I mean, look at that thing. It probably could deflect blows for him.
Oh, that's a beard. At first I thought it was fur.
No, it's his beard. I mean, you never get to see his face, but it's kind of implied that that's supposed to be his beard, and he's got like all his hair like leaving out there and stuff. Now, you can buy items from him, and I always buy every last one of his poison arrows because I love poison arrows. They keep me alive. He also sells poison moss, which is good for, you know, getting rid of poison damage if you incur any. Or the poison status, really. Poison throwing knives, I used to rely on these, now I don't, because the arrows are just a hell of a lot better. And rotten pine resin, which you use to rub on your weapons so you can give a poison status to your weapons for a brief amount of time, so you can do poison buildup on enemies and, you know, mess them up that way.
So am I getting this right? That alcoholic sells everything poison.
Yes.
Appropriate.
Rather.
Now, if you're first playing this game, if you see anything you like, it's best to buy them off of him now, because after you finish with this area, he will not be here. He would have wandered off somewhere else. So if you see anything you like, grab it now, because you probably won't get a chance to see him again until later on in the game in a rather difficult area. So just see something, grab it if you got the souls.
Is the trigger for him leaving when you beat the boss, or is it after you talk to him?
It's after you beat the boss. Because I remember I came back through here several times and he was still up here drinking merrily away. Now, you can sell items to him, and I'm thinking of coming back later on and selling all this crap that I don't need. I don't know why I'm collecting crap, because I'm playing New Game Plus. I got all the crap with me that I got from the last game, so doubling up is probably not a good idea.
Yeah, free money.
I think I'm doing it more just for, you know, the viewers' sake, so they can, like, in case they don't know what the items are, I can, like, this item is this item is that. But generally, when I talk to him, and if I am going to sell anything to him, I either sell superfluous crap that I'm not going to use, or I will sell... Where is it? Where are these? There we go. The cracked red-eye orbs. I always sell those to him, because one, you get a good amount of souls for them, 500 apiece, and two, the cracked red-eye orbs are only for people who join the Brotherhood of Blood. I am not a miscreant. I do not join the Brotherhood of Blood.
You are a miscreant, just not that type of miscreant.
Okay, I'm a miscreant, but not that kind of miscreant, damn it. Like my wife just said.
Okay, what are those guys doing that you don't like them?
The Brotherhood
Many
of Blood...
deal. Many thanks.
They invade other people
Players.
to attack you while you're trying to go through the game.
Yeah, like...
They just pop up here, I'm going to be a jerk and kill you now.
And kill you now. Like, they're basically... The Brotherhood of Blood are murderers. I have to go to the Covenant system, because since you haven't really played Dark... Well, you played... Skull, I'm pretty sure, understands the idea of the Covenant system, because he did play partially through Dark Souls 1. But just to sum up, in this game there are these clubs, basically, called Covenants. And each particular Covenant has a specific role in this game, in real time. The Brotherhood of Blood happens to be a Covenant for people who just want to go around and murder other players. If the idea of being able to invade somebody else's game and kill them and steal their souls sounds good to you, then you can join the Brotherhood of Blood.
The Troll Club.
Yeah, it's the club of people who just want to run around, do PvP, and murder everybody they find.
So fucking griefers.
Yeah. Now, I happen to be part of the Knights of Blue, the Blue Sentinels. And they are the opposite of the Brotherhood of Blood in that we are there to aid other players. Though, as I explained in the last video I did before this one, the mechanic is sort of broken because the way they set it up, you kind of don't want to do it the way they intended. Like, you have to wear this particular ring and hope that you happen to be running around an area where somebody else desperately needs your help, and they happen to be wearing the ring of their particular covenant, which they never wear. And you'll automatically be teleported to their world to fight off whatever dark spirit has invaded them, i.e. whatever Brotherhood of Blood person did that. We tend not to play it that way because we'd rather wear other rings. So instead what I end up doing is I just use my cracked blue eye orbs to invade a Brotherhood of Blood player to make him pay for his sins, so to speak. Like, my covenant is there to protect other players and to punish the guilty. I kind of like the punishing the guilty thing. It's what I did in Dark Souls 1. I was part of the, what was it that, was the Dark Moon Order, the Dark Moon Covenant? I had a lot of fun being in that order because I knew whoever I was killing deserved it. They did something to earn my wrath. So, and it's kind of the same thing with this. So, I decided just to shoot the bell, though there's a switch right over here to ring the bell. And when you ring the bell, you will see soon in the distance a ship that is suddenly lighting up with these eerie blue flames, and it's now calling the ship in. That is my final destination. Now, this kind of goes into a little bit of what I was talking about, recycling the undead, or people, so to speak. Those blue flames are not flames, they're souls. So that means this ship was powered by souls, which tells me that there were a lot of, people who were sacrificed in order to make this contraption work. And we'll be seeing a lot more of that in this game. Life Gem, always useful. Homeward Bone, well, it used to be useful, but I now have an endgame item, which basically made those obsolete, but whatever. For anybody going through this game for the first time, Homeward Bones are definitely useful. Now, I can roll down this way, but I'd rather not. I'm going to go this way instead and deal with the people waiting for me in the bottom. Or, well, the things. Now, what I normally do when I come up to this area is I sort of cheat. What I will do is I will just snipe at them with arrows. And right now, I'm very tempted to snipe at them with poison arrows and wait for them to die. I mean, that's sort of the way I tend to go through the game. But that's not going to be very exciting for you guys, so I'm just going to charge in and fight. It's a stupid way to fight.
It's better to kill yourself to give us more of a show.
Well, it's going to be a lot more entertaining for you guys to see me do risky things that I would normally not do when playing.
Oh, I don't know. The most interesting thing is we'll hear you swear about it.
That's going to be coming up short. Well, actually, to be perfectly honest, the No Man's Wharf area, I used to hate this place. When I first didn't figure it out, there was like, so many stupid ambushes and then those weird long-armed freaks and then all this other shit, and it just pissed me off. And now I realize that this area is one of the most dirt-easy places to get through. So now I find myself doing things just to challenge myself, because it's, I'm having a conversation with you guys, and as I'm playing, I'm really just kind of going through the motions. Like, a lot of the stuff I'm doing is autopilot, to be honest with you. The next area, though, I'm going to have to pay the hell attention. And then after I beat that area, from that point on, the game is no longer holding my hand. Like, it's just like screw you, this is Dark Souls. We've been too nice to you for too long.
Nice.
Now, we got sleeping people here, and the normal way for me to deal with them would be to go and backstab that one dude, and the other guy wakes up, what the hell, you killed my friend? And then I kill him before he's able to wipe the crud off his eyes. But you may notice that there are these urns, these giant jar-like things here. And I now know, because of already playing through this area, that they're filled with poison. And one of them happens to be right next to this dude. So, it's jackass time. I'm going to run away. And if I listen carefully... Yep, one of them already died. Well, he didn't die yet. I just heard him growl. I thought, now he died. There we go. He had a taste of strychnine, and he didn't like it. And the other dude, I just walk around him, backstab him, and that's that. The backstab mechanic in this game, by the way, is one of the quote-unquote problems with Dark Souls 1 and 2. It's the fact that if you know what you're doing, it's fairly easy to just spin around somebody, attack their back for massive damage. A lot of people, especially because a lot of people play PvP, so there's a whole lot of what they call backstab fishing, where you're constantly trying to get around the other guy and just attack his back. So a lot of PvP, especially in Dark Souls 1, is reduced to, oh, I've been invaded. Anyway, I'm probably going to get brutally murdered here, but I don't care.
Brutally murdered on live stream.
It's happened before. That's just
One thing I
fast.
wanted to point out that I just remember when you picked up that guy's helmet, those guys that he's been killing with the sword and the shield and the dual scimitars, they're called Varangians.
That's
Okay.
a name to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, Varangians as in the Varangian Guard.
Mm-hmm.
And they do have horns on their helmet.
Okay,
Oh,
here comes our little person who wants to invade our game and fuck me up. So he's boosting himself up, and hi, dude. How you doing? Oh, he bowed. All right, I'll bow back. He actually has respect. Unfortunately, he has full life, and I do not. So. I was testing his reflexes there. Good, thank you. I knew you were going to be dumb enough to make that attack, so... Now he's got the same amount of life I do. I appreciate that.
Did I just see that right? He is called Link.
Yes, he is called
He
Link.
is called Link.
I'm probably going to die here, though, because he's just readjusted his tactics a bit. I wish I had my rapier right now because I tried to parry him. He got me. Oh, he didn't. What the hell was he doing? You had me there, dude. Oh, okay, that was a nice move. He got me good there. I thought his back was turned, but he was actually doing a slow spin, so when I attacked, it left me wide open for that behead you move that he just did. I could have had him, though. If I was playing a little bit smarter, I think I would have had him. So now we gotta go through this all over again.
Yay!
Well, not exactly. I already got Gavlan. I already unlocked that out of the area. The only thing that frustrates me... Well, actually, I still have to run up there because I have to unlock that damn door.
Yeah, you forgot to open the shortcut.
Alright, I am going to play a little bit risky. I normally go through this area kind of methodically, but I've wasted enough time here, and I really want to get to the next area. So, I'm just going to bum rush this area and see what happens to me. I'm leaving an archer alive because I know I'm going to be able to get to him later. I'll murder you guys so you don't follow me. Damn it. Something else I don't like about Dark Souls 2. You tend to get stuck in animations a little bit longer than in Dark Souls 1. That guy who gets me with the axe there, if I was playing Dark Souls 1, I would have had enough time to quickly roll away after that first attack. You are not hitting me with that. No, you're not. No. Screw you. I'd rather get hit with a sword than that freaking oil thing. These guys like throwing these balls of like oil, and the problem is if you get hit with that, then any fire attack is going to do a ridiculous amount of damage.
Sort of logical.
Or if you light your own torch, then you'll blow yourself up.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Any fire that touches you. Can you please stop? Alright, this guy's annoying me.
So it's not oil, it's napalm.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, you like shooting arrows?
Well,
huh?
obviously they had napalm way back then. Have you seen any Hollywood movies? They're chucking that stuff all the time. They got gunpowder stores in there as well. Have you seen Troy when they rolled those napalm hay bales down?
Oh, yeah.
All their stuff is
Yes.
exploding. I don't know why they have gunpowder stores, but
Okay, so I got rid of Monsieur Archer. And oh, he's dead. No items for me. I'm not even going to bother shooting you off of there. Calm down. Come at me, idiot. I don't care. You're going to die anyway. Wow, you made an attack. I'm showing, by the way, how not to play Dark Souls. You don't just bum rush areas. Because as you can see, I tried to attack him, and then the other guy jumped in. Hey, how you doing? Can you step up and die, please? Thank you. And I'll get that. Thank you. I wish I had my rapier set up, though, because then I would just use my rapier and scimitar to just kind of chop my way through, and I wouldn't have to worry about damaging these weapons. There is weapon
have the
degradation
rapier?
in games. Yes, I do.
yeah. Well, put that in your right hand and use that.
I was thinking
With the
about
blue
it.
flame in the left.
Yeah, but I'm not... Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to try that.
It should be the same moveset as you currently have if you're using L1. Because I think it goes based more off what's on your left hand than in your right.
You know what? I'm going to try that. I'm going to use the magic blue flame, and I'm going to switch over to the espada. Where are you, espada? I know you're around here somewhere. I just
One thing I hate is the dual move set for the katana, because for some inexplicable reason, you do reverse grip cuts with it.
Yeah, which is really freaking
Ouch.
stupid, but what are you going to do? All right.
It's ninja skills, man.
Oh, shit, motherfucker. No, get away from me. So normally he's not a threat, but the other guy's freaking throwing oil at me.
Excuses, excuses.
What do you know?
There's a reason I don't play this game.
Stab there. Okay, he's dead. Good. And okay, drinking the Sunny D. Vim and vigor running through my veins. Whatever. Okay. Now,
Vitamin.
where is that dog? If you play Dark Souls, you will learn to have a healthy respect for dogs and to murder them as soon as you see them.
That doesn't really sound as if it goes together.
Yeah, the ASPCA, I am not. You will understand later on when you play through this game. You will learn to hate them with a passion. Passion that burns and knows not words.
I think they were a bit more jerkish in number 1, though. Honestly.
Yeah, and number 1, they were really aggressive. And by the way, you seen the footage for Dark Souls 3? They look even worse now.
Oh, God.
So, if I'm getting this right, the dogs in this game are like the Cuckoos and Hyrule Warriors.
What's up? Oh, God.
I haven't played that.
I have not played. Yeah, have you guys played on Hyrule Warriors? How is it?
It's not very like Zelda, but it's a Zelda themed
Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah, I was looking for it.
I love Dynasty Warriors. It's a guilty pleasure of mine.
It's very well done. If you like Dynasty Warriors, then there you go. That's definitely up your alley.
Now, I will say that it is a little bit noticeable that it is Team Ninja. So, story-wise, we are getting more of a Zelda fanfic than but okay. If they really wanted to get that ginormous boobied sorceress in there, okay.
Have at it.
That, even though I'm still amazed to this day that Nintendo did let them get away with the boob and
Let's switch your kidneys.
in that Zelda game. Quote-unquote Zelda game.
Yeah. I know there were some people who were upset by it. Like, what the hell is Dynasty Warriors, Harry? Now, by the way, the move I'm doing right here, I really want you, especially those who play Dark Souls 2, to pay attention to this. You're going to notice me, well, you've already noticed, those of you in the voice chat, you're going to notice me parry the dude, and then you're going to notice me do this critical hit after him. The critical hit I do there is not the normal follow-up. It's one that I like to do to speed things up, and I don't think a lot of people knew about this move. I mean, I'm pretty sure some figured it out, but it's something that I notice a lot of people have not talked about. The way you normally are supposed to follow up from a parry is you wait for them to fall on their butt, then you stand over them and you see your character do this coup de grace that pins them to the ground. The only problem is that takes too long. Like, if you're surrounded by other enemies and you're waiting for that to happen, you're leaving yourself open to attack, which is not what happened in Dark Souls 1. In Dark Souls 1, the follow-up for your parry was immediate. And it's really annoying to have to deal with this system in this game. I know why they put it in there. It was more for PvP purposes, but it's still really annoying. But what a lot of people don't know is, as the guy is falling down, there's a brief moment where he is still in a critical hit state. Like, it's not immediately after. It's like, I'd say about half a second after you've pulled off the parry. If you catch him just before he falls down, then the critical hit animation comes in that you would normally see if you knocked away his weapon or shield and then followed up with an attack. And so you get a faster response, and that just ends up being a lot better for us players in the long run.
I can never get that shield stagger critical hit in. Every time you do the kick, by the time you get up there to actually hit them,
Yeah, they've
they've
already
recovered enough where it's just a normal. So it's just a normal attack. It's bloody silly.
It's really
What I don't like is when you have like an elaborate animation, like some kind of finishing move or a critical or something, and you can't stop it. Like,
Yeah.
either you should be invulnerable while the character is going through flashy bullshit, or you should be able to cancel it at any time.
Yeah.
It's just
Dark
kind of
Souls does not believe in that. And I didn't have a problem with that in Dark Souls 1 simply because if you knew how to time your motions and stuff like that, like your attacks, it didn't really come into play. Like, you would be able to, like, okay, I just did this really big move, but I timed it so that by the time the other guy gets here, I can roll out the way or defend or whatever. But in Dark Souls 2, for some strange reason, they made the attacks more sluggish. So you find yourself being wide open at times when you didn't expect to be wide open. It's like, I should have enough time to get out the way. Wait a minute, he's not rolling, what the fuck? And then you die.
That's bad.
Though I will say, when you do things like, you know, those special animations for backstabs or critical hits and stuff like that, you are generally invulnerable. So I say generally, like in Dark Souls 1, you were completely invulnerable. In Dark Souls 2, you will take damage, but not nearly as much damage as if you were actually fighting. Like if you're in a critical hit animation and they hit you, I hate that one. I am doing really horrible right now. You don't take as much damage if you're in the middle of a critical hit animation. If you're in the middle of a regular attack animation, though, then yeah, tough luck. Well, that was bad planning on my part, but at least he died. You know, that's a line that pretty much I think almost everybody says playing a Dark Souls game. Well, that didn't work out, but at least he died. Like, you gotta take your victories anywhere you can in this game.
That's why I don't play. That's my life.
Okay, you know what? I am going to be a jerk and weaken this guy up a little bit. Flame swap. Yeah? That did not work. That didn't work at all. There we go. That worked a whole lot better. I'm happy with that result.
Just killing people.
Ow. The camera was in the wrong place for me, so I did not see him approach. Backstab time. Okay, well, like that's what I'm about backstab. Not a literal stab to the back, an actual mechanic backstab. There, now you're dead. Alright then. That. Okay, we're just about at the place that I originally was before I was brutally murdered by a Brotherhood of Blood person.
You were murdered by Link, just get over it.
Yeah, I was murdered by Link, though this was a very strange Link because he didn't come at me with boomerangs or bow and arrows. He came at me with a great sword that said Conan on it, so...
Well, but he was quiet.
He was very quiet. Though we didn't, I mean, aren't we supposed to be hearing that usual yep, every time he attacks?
Yeah, okay.
Only if he's rolling around.
Alright.
Now that's when he's doing jumping attacks and stuff.
Poison him. Hide back here. Actually, I can power this. Wait, I can't power it right now. Shit! Don't hit me! Thank you. Alright, I allow you to die now. What? You dare to freaking throw one of those at me? Now you deserve to die. Glad it missed me. I might as well light a torch to show you guys what I was talking about, because down here are those boogeyman things that I was talking about, and if you come at them with fire, they're not very happy. See, now they're cowering away from you, like, no, flames, flame bad. You know what's even worse? Being poked with a long, sharp object.
Now, I think that might be debatable.
Well, if they got hit by the flames, then yeah, it's definitely debatable. But just simply holding it aloft, I think I'd rather have somebody, you know, just holding a bright light near me than stabbing me with a rapier. That's just me, though.
Well,
Everybody's
I said,
got their own
I'm
kink.
no vampire character. I think I have more to worry about the root track than about getting a rapier through.
Migraine.
Okay, so Fading Soul, which isn't worth much. Soul of Nameless Undead. Large Soul of a Nameless Soldier. And Life Gem. And this lovely chest over here, which I forgot to open when I got invaded, is a Royal Soldier's Ring. Now, the Royal Soldier's Ring is actually a pretty decent item. I used to wear it. Let me show you what it looks like. It's this one right over here. Ring bearing a soldier's seal increases the load that can be carried. This game basically does have you worrying about how much weight you're carrying on you. Though it's not like Fallout where all your items weigh you down. It's just what you're wearing and what you're equipped with. So, for instance, if you're wearing really heavy armor and a gigantic broadsword and stuff, and the amount of weight you carry is at a low level, then you will notice your character moving a bit more sluggishly. His rolls won't be as quick, and like, it's just going to weigh you down. which is not a good thing in this game. Generally, you want to be able to move as quickly as you possibly can. So the Royal Soldier's Ring ends up being a boon for people who like wearing heavier stuff, because then it, allows them to be able to at least move quicker because they're able to carry more weight on them. Now, that being said, unlike Dark Souls 1, the weight restrictions aren't as stringent as they used to be, which is why I'm now seeing the ridiculous image of people rolling around in freaking Havel sets. They really should not have changed the way it worked in Dark Souls 1, in my opinion, but they did. And once again, I must reiterate to people who are watching the series, I don't hate Dark Souls 2. I'm not like some of the other people out there who's like, this game sucks. No, I like it. That's why I'm playing it. But there were clearly some things they did that I disagreed with, and that was one of them.
Which of course also matters more if you like it overall, because then such issues get even more frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bound by Flames. Meh. I'm still pissed at this game for the ending.
Bound by Flames? I don't think I'm familiar with that one.
It's an action RPG, and what I really, really like about it is that it's probably the game with that is most comfortable with making mature jokes in itself, so the characters are actually talking like real people who acknowledge that they have sexuality and that swear when this situation gets really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But you could just really see that the development team probably ran out of time and or money, because the ending you get is a little bit of a wait, what? I get a credit epilogue scene if I chose the bleeding heart, do goody, sacrifice myself way of doing things, and none of the other options? Well, fuck you too!
Oh, by the way, you're gonna notice that I'm not moving forward. The reason why is because there's an ambush set up here, and it is an ambush that if you pay attention, you can see it coming. If you stand over here and look, you're going to notice that there are these two guys who are hanging off the ledge of that platform there. And if I'm dumb enough to just go la-di-da-di-da and just cross it, they're going to pop up from behind and try to chop up my kidneys from behind. However, I am not stupid, and I am not going to dignify this at all. So what I'm going to do is move to the side with my trusty bow and arrow and just shoot them off the freaking ledge. And they will fall into the drink to their deaths, as they deserve.
So water is bad in this game?
Oh yeah, there's no such thing as swimming. At all. I mean, there's some areas where you can wade in the water. Generally, if you can see the ground, it's safe to go into it. But if you're looking into the water and all you're seeing is the abyss, don't step in there. You will hate life if you do. Alright, now here's another NPC. And he's basically the first sorcerer you meet in the game who will sell you spells. But only if you are not an idiot.
What?
Very well. From this day, you shall be
See,
my
right now
new
he's
pupil.
saying he senses power, and from this day, I shall be
am
his new
Carillion.
pupil. Not even
Carillion
giving
of
me
the
a
Fold.
choice in the matter or not. Just
Surely
saying, you're
you've
my new
heard the
pupil now.
name.
Oh, okay.
Now,
His
do
name
not be
Carillion of the
afraid.
Fold?
Let us explore the limits of sorcery.
So he's just like, I sense power in you. Okay, from now on, you'll be my pupil, and I'll teach you magic. Whether I wanted him to or not. But, he sells some decent spells. He sells a Sorcerer's Staff, which is a catalyst for doing sorceries if you don't have one already, which you should have one by now, no matter what builds you started with. He sells the Spell Quartz Ring, which increases your magic defense, and the Clear of Bluestone Ring, which shortens spellcasting time, and if you're a sorcerer type, that second ring is very useful. He also sells Amber Herbs and Twilight Herbs, which restore spell uses, because you may notice that when you do spells, you have a certain number of them. Sort of like if you were playing D&D or other RPGs where you have a certain amount of times you can use a spell before they're all gone. This game uses a similar system, but you can restore the amount of spells you use without having to go to a bonfire to recharge them all. And then there's a spice here called Simpleton Spice, which lowers the required intelligence for certain spells by 1. I honestly see no use for these items. I know other people like using them because it allows them to be able to use spells that their characters normally wouldn't if they weren't going to put the stat investments in leveling up their intelligence, like a really powerful spell. I want to use this, but my character's stupid, and I don't want to raise up its intelligence, so let me just lower their spell requirements. The problem is when you're lowering the spell requirements for the spell, what they didn't tell you is that it also lowers the amount of damage the spell does. Because the spell itself levels by intelligence. So if your intelligence is low and you lower the spell to be able to be used by your simpleton self, then the spell isn't doing as much damage as it's supposed to be doing. I'm somebody who thinks, well, if I want to use a spell, let me just level up my requirement so I can, my stat, so I can use it. It's this game. I mean, this kind of leads into something else that goes on with Dark Souls in the Dark Souls community, and that's self-imposed level caps. For PvP purposes, people limit how high they will level up their characters. So you can only go up a certain level if you're going to be playing PvP before they're like, nah, you're way too high level, it's unfair for the rest of us. And I can understand that. Like if you're regularly doing PvP, because the thing is, you can level yourself up so that you can have 99 in every stat. And then it's like, well, what's the point of having a specific build? Like if you can have 99 in any stat, then that means you can just use anything you want. And the game obviously doesn't care if you do that, but people do. So in order for them to have dedicated builds such as, well, I'm using a sorcery build, or I'm using a dex build, or I'm using a caveman barbarian build, or I'm using a dark sorcerer build, or whatever you want to make, they will impose a level cap so that you can make that specific build that is catered for that. So that means you're going to have to be careful on where you put your stats because you're doing a self-imposed limit on how far you can level yourself up. So, because of those level caps, yeah, I can understand somebody wanting to use the Simpleton Spice, or later on I think there's the Skeptic Spice for use for cleric spells, which does the same thing but for miracles. But I don't play this game for PvP. I mean, I engage in it, but I don't constantly do it. And in fact, this particular character, I've stopped invading people's worlds simply because I'm now level 204 freaking team. So to be fair to everyone else, I will no longer punish the guilty or invade other people's worlds. But if you come in my world, good luck. Because I didn't put a level cap on myself.
Well, in Dark Souls 2, they do it a little differently because you don't invade based on your level. It's based on that soul memory thing.
Yeah, we screwed everything up.
Just how many total souls you've absorbed through your journey. And so you could be spending all your money leveling up your pyromancy and all that and be level 50 or 60, and somebody who's poured all their points into leveling could be level 200 some, and you'd be matched up against them.
Yeah, and that
so
pissed
it's
a lot of people
not really
off.
fair.
For good reason. The soul memory thing they should never have added to this game, because no matter what you do, you're going to accumulate souls. And if you're not leveling yourself up, but the soul memory is matching you with somebody who's level 3,000, you're screwed. There's nothing you're going to be able to do if they invade your world.
For the first playthrough, I get it, because you could go through the game, keep staying at a low level, get all the top-end gear, get your stuff all maxed out, and then grief new players in the starter areas. So I get, for at least the first playthrough, but New Game Plus and on, it should have been based on your
soul
level.
Yeah. Anyway, let me speed through this because I've been on the screen for too long. These are the spells that he sells, and they're all useful, at least in the beginning. Soul Arrow is basically a magical projectile. Great Soul Arrow is a more powerful projectile. Heavy Soul Arrow, Great Heavy Soul Arrow, you get the point. Shockwave, I haven't seen too many people use it. It's a decent situational spell. Basically, it just knocks people down. And if you're on a ledge and you do that against somebody, it can be very effective. Soul Spear Barrage is basically, imagine a Gatling gun version of a magical spell. Instead of just shooting one projectile, you're shooting many, but they do a little bit of damage. So this spell is really only useful against large creatures, so you can get every single last hit in. And then you have Magic Weapon. I'm using a better version of it. I'm using Greater Magic Weapon, and it powers up your sword with magical damage. And since the character I'm using has his intelligence stat boosted, that means my magic damage is pretty good when I use that spell on it. And finally, Yearn, which basically is a kind of decoy spell. Like, you use it to, put a little bit of a magic cloud, tiny, little... Basically, you just make a decoy somewhere in the level, and creatures who are affected by it will chase that so you can slip past them so you won't have to fight them. It's useful if you want to rush to an area. He also will reinforce your Pyromancy Flame to a high level. This is my Dark Pyromancy Flame 7. I might as well use it. And now it's Pyromancy... Oh, well, that's boosted up to 8. I don't use my Dark Pyromancy Flame, though, for reasons I'll probably get into later.
Ah, here. A fitting gift for you.
So what is the high number of that?
Seek higher planes, young pupil.
The highest level of the flame, you mean?
Yep.
I think it's 10. Pretty sure it was
Okay.
10.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah.
One day my teachings will save you.
Yeah. Now, he's not going to stay here forever, by the way, this dude. Now that I've talked to him, actually, if I talk to him
You
again,
seek
my teachings very well.
the
Talk.
forces of magic.
I have to keep yapping at him.
Sorcery. You scrub.
I'm trying to get him
Never
to say that he's not going to stay here.
It's weird. Most of my characters are nowhere near smart enough to talk to him when I come in this area.
You always play like the caveman type characters, so that's what I forgot to mention to you guys. When I said earlier that he'll only talk to you if you're intelligent, you have to have an intelligence level of 10, I believe. If your intelligence level is lower than that, he's going to be like, I see light, but it remains dim. Which is a more polite way of saying, you're an idiot, therefore I can't teach you magic.
Lovely.
Yeah. So,
Uneducated riffraff.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Now,
so he generally doesn't talk to my guys. My guys, I generally don't use spells. If I do, it's usually the healing stuff for under the faith area.
I like using hybrid characters. I always have. I like using quick characters that can every now and then fry somebody, so it's no exception in this game. Now, I am attacking the ship this way because I know there's 2 other guys on the other side, but there's only 1 dude here, so oh! Okay, that's new. Shit. I was not expecting a dark spirit to be among them. And now I gotta fight the dark spirit and these guys.
Good luck.
Yeah, this isn't going to... Oh, shit. Roll. Alright. Regroup. Think of something quickly. What am I doing?
I don't know.
I accidentally had myself on firebomb instead of my Estes flask. Oh, shit. Die. You need to get the hell out of my way. Thank you. Roll. Who's behind me? Okay, those ruffians are behind me. I'm gonna run over here, and hopefully these guys are so idiotic that they're... Ow! Don't die!
Run away! Run away!
I don't think it's working.
Roll. I'm hoping that their pathing will make some of them fall into the water, at the very least. Okay, let's see. Oh, they stopped following me. That's good. I could bring Lucatiel into this, but I'm afraid they're going to kill her. So, I'm just going to power up my stabby and try to pick them off one by one. Yeah, that normally I would just kill those 2 guys and be done with it, but having that dark spirit there is having me wary because they tend to do a lot of freaking damage, and I'm not fighting 3 guys at once. Sorry, no. Those are not good odds, especially in this game. I could poison them.
Yeah, you do have a bow, so you just sit there, go pink, 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 and they're just sitting there, what keeps poking me?
I think I'm gonna do that. Wait a minute, he's chasing me. I think he's only gonna chase me by himself. I don't mind the dark spirit chasing me by himself. That I can handle. I think I can handle it.
His buddies are
If we start hearing wailing in a moment, we know you couldn't.
Yeah, when you start hearing me screaming like Goofy, you know it went wrong. Oh, he's backing away with his... Okay, I'm gonna poison him now. Higher, please. Yes, I'm not playing with honor. I don't care.
The worst thing to me is, and that's now totally a horrible inside joke that only Swordsage and I would get, is I did hear higher at first. I thought you were calling for Hired. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, red spirit is poisoned.
How does that even work? How do you poison the spirit?
How do you kill a spirit? I'm able to stab them with spears, for God's sakes.
It's all a metaphor for something, I'm sure.
Okay, now...
Weird thing about the NPCs in this game, they can two-hand their weapons, or they can use their weapon with a shield, and it doesn't matter if their shield is out or not, they will block the same amount of damage.
Yeah.
Logic? Question mark?
I really am a bastard in this game. I really am. I mean, if that was a human player right now, you'd be like, this is bullshit! I don't care.
Well, the game kind of forces you to.
Not really. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could have just rushed them and fought them, but why
Okay,
would you?
it incentivizes you, I should say.
Yes.
Yeah. And those 2 guys are waiting for me to walk into the room so I can get ambushed. No, I do.
Well,
the
that
ambushing
Phantom
around
was
here.
walking at you with the shield lowered. I mean, He's watched too many movies. He should have been expecting that.
Uh-huh.
That is weird. Why don't anybody in movies, they're charging up a beach with arrows coming at them. They never raise their shield.
They don't know how to use shields in movies,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah, that is true.
And they don't seem to know how to use shields in this game either.
Which
Because,
might-
you know,
For
Games.
you.
and he dies. Now that I've cleared the ship, I can now go back and summon Lucatiel. I am pretty sure if I brought Lucatiel into that, she wouldn't be here now. Just a hunch.
Well, the one thing NPCs do have is a lot of health.
Yeah, they do. And, I mean, if it was just those two wannabe Vikings, then I wouldn't have had a problem. But with those two plus that Dark Spirit, I'd rather, you know, not chance it. So I guess that was the surprise for this level, because normally that guy is not there.
Well, there's another surprise coming when you get into the boss room.
Oh, great.
I just love that you dropped that.
Okay, black fire bombs. They are.
It's not going to be really fitting with the rest of the Viking theme to the dudes, but yeah.
Viking theme.
Okay, run.
See, they have horns on their helms, so they're Vikings, obviously.
Viking! Oh shit. You swung out air, my friend. And now you have to die. Okay, run up these rickety steps. And there's Lucatiel's summon sign. Now you have to be in human form to be able to summon. If you're not in human form, if you're walking around like green beef jerky, you can't summon anybody. And that was just the same way in the original Dark Souls, but one thing they changed was originally if you were in beef jerky form, not only could you not summon creatures, but you couldn't be invaded. So most people, if they didn't want to get invaded, they just ran around looking all dried up. Well, in this game, they decided, nah, we're not letting you off the hook there. So even if you are in beef jerky form, you can still get invaded, so screw you. So now you are incentivized to stay in human form as much as possible so you can at least get some extra help if you need it.
Yeah, and in Dark Souls 1, being jerky didn't actually hurt you in any way. You still had the same amount of health. Whereas in this game, I think up to 5 times, it'll take away 10% of your health every time you die.
To the point where you'll only be walking around with half health if you keep on dying over and over.
That's harsh.
Oh yeah, this game really punishes you for screwing up.
This is discrimination.
Discrimination of the undead.
Yes, clearly.
Discrimination against the undead and discrimination against people who aren't too good at the game. Okay, now I wanted to go through this area with different weapons for 2 reasons. One, I wanted to show a different move set for once, which is why I was using the rapier. I liked going through this game with a rapier in one hand and a saber in the other because it allowed me 2 different fighting styles to deal with different scenarios. I would have, you know, the stabby for in case I was dealing with enemies in narrow areas and if I wanted to go straight at them. But then I would have the saber to deal with, you know, being able to do wide swings in case they were spinning around me or if I needed to hit more than one person at once. Never mind the fact that in real life you couldn't just swing wide with a sword and hit 2 or 3 people at once effectively, but there you go. But now that we're here, I'm going to switch back to my blue flames because 1, they're fully charged up. Again, there's weapon degradation in this game. The more you use weapons, the more you're going to have, you know, they get more and more damage until you have to repair them. I didn't want to wear down my blue flames because I wanted to save it for the boss. But that kind of gives me a problem with a flaw with the system. When the first Dark Souls came out, Miyazaki, the main director of these games, he prided himself on the fact that he created a game where if you find a weapon you like, even if it's like, say, in the beginning of the game or the middle of the game, you can pretty much just level up that weapon and take it with you all the way to the end of the game. You don't need, like, you know, level end items in order to beat the game. You can beat the game with just skill alone. So let's say you happen to really like using the dagger throughout the game. You can just level up your dagger so it does a bit more damage, and because you like its moveset, that moveset can take you all the way to the end of the game. No problem, right? But then for some idiotic reason, for Dark Souls 2, he's like, well, I want people to be able to use more varied weapons. So now we've kind of increased the amount of damage weapons take as they get used, kind of forcing you to, like, midway through a game, have to use repair powders to keep them going, or just switch weapons. And they wanted you to switch weapons so you can use more than one weapon. But if you wanted people to get comfortable with one weapon, why are you then forcing them to switch to other weapons?
I never really had a problem with the weapon breaking, though, except for once when was trying to use the halberd in this area. It's the only time I ever needed repair powder.
I had a problem because I was going through this game with the rapier and saber, and as you know, the rapier is kind of a delicate weapon, so it was running out fast.
Yeah, I do prefer the spears.
Okay, before I get in there, I am going to use my great magic weapon on both my swords to power them up. And then we will deal with the guy in here, who, by the way, was also misnamed and kind of misrepresented in the English translations of this. I better top myself off before getting in here, because you said it was a surprise.
Yeah, there's a fun surprise.
Great.
What
Alright.
level of sarcasm was that fun?
Okay, what the fuck? Okay, these guys are normally not in here in New Game. These two really quick ninja-like characters.
Yep.
Now I have
There's ninjas aboard a Viking ship.
I find that hilarious. Okay, normally these two guys aren't here, which now gives me a reason to have weak deal, because normally this boss is incredibly easy to deal with. I killed one. Wow, they're weak though. I killed one of them with one blow. So they're just more of a nuisance than anything else.
Yeah, they're not very strong ninja, but they are ninja.
Oh, no, game, what are you doing? My screen just... I don't know why my screen just suddenly switched to my desktop, so if you saw me get hit, it wasn't because of bad play, it was because I couldn't see.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. Wham, 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 missed. Okay, Lucatil's still holding her own, and it looks like she killed the other ninja-type dude. Whack. Though she is getting messed up right now. It's a good thing she has a lot of life. But this guy's incredibly easy to deal with. Just flank him. And especially if you have somebody else to distract him, then you just kind of flank him. He is rather grotesque looking. You know, basically being two bodies sewn into one. He's called the Flexile Sentry, though it looks like that was a bit of a mistranslation because it's really supposed to be the Exiled Sentry.
Okay, yeah, that makes
And
sense.
he's not really a sentry so much as he's somebody who helped to process the undead and send them on their way. He was basically there to exile the undead. I mean, I guess you can say that he's I don't know what flexile is supposed to mean. He's not all that extra flexible or anything like that. It's just two bodies sewn into one pair of legs. You know, it's just a bit of a
Don't
bad translation.
overthink it.
Nah, if you try to overthink things in this game, you're just going to end up with an aneurysm. But yay, we beat it, and we did it with her intact. Now, anybody playing this game for the first time, I mean, those who play this game already know this, but there is a slight chance that someone has not played this before. Do not examine that thing without turning around and opening this chest. Open this chest first. You're going to find a nice little item in here. It's your first pyromancy flame, which I don't really need because I already have one, but there you go. I'm just showing you what's in there. You get a pyromancy flame and you get the fireball spell. If you examine this first, you're going to trigger the cutscene and you're going to instantly be exited out of the ship and you won't be able to go back in unless you're willing to go all the way back to No Man's Wharf and fight your way through it all over again. And you don't want to do that. So turn around and open that chest up first, then examine the compass. And what that does is it gets the bell moving. And it gets our undead soul powered ship moving. Bless you, Jet. My wife sneezed. Now, I am not going to question how the ship was able to turn itself around in that cave in order to go this way. Because those who are astute would have remembered that the ship was originally came in the other direction to get moored to the harbor. And it was facing the other way. So how the hell was it able to turn around in that narrow cave to go out that way?
So you just randomly summoned a person out of nowhere while fighting on a ship that is powered by souls, and your main problem with immersion is how did they turn it around?
I'm just saying that you know, some things I can buy in this crazy whacked out universe and some things I can't. That particular one I can't. Now, This kind of, by the way, lends more credence to the thing about the undead being exiled to some far off spot. Because after we leave the ship and we go into here, you can see what looks like what used to be like, a basic setup for a table and chairs and stuff before leading up, to this elevator that once we step aboard, it's going to go up. And once I wait for these rusty mechanisms to work. Ah, the cave we're going to be visiting shortly. And if this thing would hurry up. Come on. Come on, I don't remember it taking this long. There we go. It leads us up here, where we're automatically seeing cells on all sides. So this is again leading more evidence to the fact that that weird flexile boss dude, well, we'll call him the exile dude, he was there to help process these people, send them up on their ship, and send them to what we are now seeing is called the Lost Bastille. And as we know, Bastille is basically a French word for prison. It's basically a place where you lock people up. So this is where the undead were just shipped away to just be locked up because people were terrified of them. And these cells are empty, well, except for this one shriveled husk of a creature who just died off. And he has a soul of a proud knight and a radiant life gem, which he can no longer use, but we will certainly be able to use. His death was not in vain. Now I'm going to trigger this elevator, but then quickly get off of it. And then I'm going to ride it back down, but I'm going to ride on the top of the elevator, right at the inside of it. Because those of you guys who were watching might remember that there was this little cave that this elevator passed as it was rising up. And this is the only way to get to it. You got to send the elevator down and then jump on the top of it. And then the elevator is going to reach the bottom, where you can just roll into the cave and grab this scimitar and repair powder. So that's an extra weapon that I no longer really need. A bit of lag all of a sudden. Okay, Kara, Skull, how much more can you stomach right now?
Well, I'm up for more. What about you?
I'm doing something meanwhile, so I don't have an issue.
Okay, then if you don't mind, because the area I went through right now was fairly easy and not very exciting, but now we're about to go to an area which has a lot of evil surprises and a mean set of bosses. So if you wanted to stick around for that, we can then go through there, and then I can probably end it right there.
Well, let's do
Sounds
that
good.
then.
All right, so
I still have the majority of this stupid Victorian vest to cover in, so...
you're making a Victorian vest?
I'm drawing one bad enough.
Oh, okay.
Which actually might be worse than making one, because that would mean I could have simply bought the fabric instead of having to sit here making all those little floral designs.
Okay, if I am missing some good stuff in chat. I just had to take a really good look at the side there, and I'm seeing some discussion going on and stuff. Again, I'm sorry that I'm not able to see the chat consistently, and if I had a dual monitor, it would be easier. If you, later on when Jit gets back, because she's busy right now, when she gets back on there, maybe she might be able to field some questions my way, and yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I think I might need to get you in here so I can hear you. And here, the reason why I went back to Majula, by the way, is to see if I can level some stats up. I might as well.
Curse.
And our same old speech,
Seek
seek souls, larger, more powerful souls. It's gotten to the point now where I call her seek lest, because I always speed through her conversations, so she just goes speak lest, and then gets on to level up. But I already complained about her enough, so I don't need to do it again. So I can level up at least twice. You will notice, Kara, and Skull's probably already used to this, that every time you level up, the amount of souls that you need to level up the next time go up. Everything goes up, not exponentially, but it just always goes up. Like the cost for leveling up always goes up every time you level up. So it's not like, to level up the next time, last time it was 8,000, so I'll just gather up another 8,000 souls. No, it's just gonna go higher. So I guess this is their way of, acting like experience points. Like, in other RPGs, every time you want to level up to the next level, you have to like the level of experience points that you need to get always go up. Well, it's the same thing with souls. You're using the souls as experience points, and the amount of experience points you need to level up each stat goes up every time. And of course, you pick whatever stat you want. So in this case, my dex is at 57. My intelligence is at 57. These are my two main stats for my build. These are the two that I really care about the most. I was thinking of jacking up my adaptability just to kind of increase the iframes in my roll when I dodge. That's something else I already complained about. I don't need to get back into it again. I was thinking endurance. Vigor's good enough for me right now. I know some people are looking at that. 120 vigor? That's all you got? I'm used to playing this game dangerously. I went through this. I actually beat the game with less than 20. So that just goes to show you how much I depend on defense.
I don't often put a lot into vitality either, or vigor, whatever they call it on this one. It's better to not get hit.
Yeah, that's
Says the guy who likes playing a tank.
No, I usually play the dodgy guy.
That sounded different probably half an hour ago.
My guys aren't smart, but they're smart enough to dodge.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can. I cannot believe I did not level up that scimitar.
I knew you'd be.
I find that, well, I think I know why I didn't level it up. That doesn't make any sense because I went through the game with this character using a rapier and scimitar combination for a while. So why didn't I level those weapons up? What the hell is wrong with me?
Simply forgot it?
Possibly? I don't know. Maybe I accidentally sold it? I mean, I got a rapier at level 10. Oh, I know what I did. I was using the scimitar for a while, but then I switched to the katana in one hand and the rapier in the other, which, in my opinion, is not as flexible a setup as the scimitar and rapier combination is, but it did more damage, and I was just going for raw damage at that point. So I did end up just leaving that scimitar alone.
Well, why don't you show the dual weapon moveset for the katana, so Skull and Kara can see just how silly it is.
You know what? Sure,
I want to do that to myself.
Yeah, because then again, I might do it just to get them talking about what the hell, since they've been kind of silent.
I don't remember if it's the power attack that's the most silly or the normal one that
I think
has
it's the
it.
power attack that's the most silly. Let me just find the scimitar first because I've somehow gotten lost in my inventory. There we go. And yes,
You
I
can
got
clean
a lot
out your
of
inventory.
Yeah, I really
Put
do
up
need
stuff
to.
you ain't using. You got 2 fire longswords.
I can dual wield those. It's the principle of the thing.
That is one good thing about this game. The longswords are not
I'll be
stupidly
around.
outclassed by katanas like a lot of games. Longswords are actually really, really good. One of the better types.
Okay, I'm gonna switch to the katana just so you guys can get frustrated. I'm not gonna
Lovely.
actually use it in the game. I'm just going to show you what they do. I'm gonna have a Uji katana in one hand and a black steel in the other. The black steel one was the one that I actually went through the game with for a while. Okay, first of all, hey, look, every katana freak's that's not true. I shouldn't say that. It's not every one of their okay, people who love katanas but don't know much about swords, their favorite thing. A katana in each hand. It's awesome.
And you can even do the Iaido strike with the black steel, I think, right?
Yeah, I think you can. If you're using, I think that a katana works best in this game in 2 hands, which, hey, what do you know? Like, with a little bit of realism. You can use it with 1 hand, but I personally find it's faster and a little bit more useful in 2. If you do decide to use it 1 hand, then you got these kind of diagonal swings that, I mean, they got a good speed to them. And I do like the fact that in 1 hand you get a thrust. Thrusts are very useful in this game. Dirty Mind, shut up.
Actually, in real life as well, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, stabs are good.
Fuckers
Now-
are hard to parry.
If you decide to use the 2-handed stance, as you can see, you once again use both weapons at the same time, which that works with just about every dual-wielded weapon. So yeah, I know it's unrealistic, but there you go. But if you use its power strike, which is this, then you see this weird, like you reverse grips on both of them, and then you swing one down. No, actually, no, you reverse grip on just one. Sorry.
Bad enough.
And you swing the reverse grip sword upward, and then you swing the other one downwards. Again, why, I don't know.
And those katanas look astonishingly oversized. Like the length, that looks longer.
Yeah, they are
They are
way too
really
long for katana.
In fact, to be perfectly honest, if I'm really gonna, if I was making this game, I would not be calling these katana. I'd be calling these taichi, itachi, or like at least okatana, because these are definitely not your standard size weapons. What's even funnier is that the one that I'm holding right now in two hands is supposed to be the shorter of all of them.
What?
Yeah,
It's not the shortest, but it's one of the shorter.
Yeah, it's called an uji katana. If you look up an uji katana, you will find that uji katana used to be smaller swords for closer range or indoor fighting. That's what an uji katana is. Not in this game. In this game, they're freaking ridiculously long, freakishly long, in fact. But they're not nearly as long as the one that I just popped into my hand right now.
The washing pole?
Yes, I just popped it in. I'm pretty sure once they see it, they're gonna like, holy shit. I'll wait the 10 seconds.
Waiting.
It's based off of Sasaki Kojiro's drying pole, if you're familiar with that guy.
Yeah.
What the heck?
What?
Yeah.
is that?
That's the washing pole. It's the longest one in the game, I think. Oops, I almost
That looks longer than a Nodachi. Well, the grip is super
the
short.
grip is way too fucking short.
Oh yeah, it is.
Off.
Proportions are way off. But yeah, there's your washing pole, and so many people love this weapon because 1, it's a dex weapon, 2, it's a katana, which does ridiculous amounts of damage, and 3, look at the reach on that thing. So you will, especially in the earlier days of this game, there were a lot of people running around with washing poles, just ruining other people's lives.
Oh, do you have the Sir Alone's sword?
Yeah, that's the one I was about to show next. That's actually my favorite of all of them, simply because it actually, I can't use it with my present stats right now. I need to up my strength.
It looks like a katana.
Yeah, but the thing I really like about it is that it's made to look like a what's the term?
Nagamaki?
Yeah, it looks like a nagamaki with a really long handle and such. I just wish he would use it like a nagamaki, because he uses it with the same katana animations that all the other ones have. So you will see him, like when he's holding it the way you would expect to hold a nagamaki.
Yeah, that looks okay.
Why doesn't he just use it like the spears?
Yeah, you'd.
If you do one hand, I think he actually does use it like the halberds.
Yeah, like
No.
no,
that makes some sense.
But the problem is, if you're doing regular swings, then he's going to close his hands up like he's using a regular katana. He's not really, yeah, that increases its length, so you're maximizing your reach, but it's not really maximizing the leverage that this weapon would normally use. Like, if you were normally using this weapon, you would keep your hands in the same position as this person is right now in my default stance. Like me just standing there, that's where you would expect the hands to stay as he's swinging it, so you can get the extra leverage that the longer handle gives you, but when you're swinging, he just throws that away. So,
That looks like that's actually the halberd moveset for the swings, rather than the katana.
What?
well, except for that power move thing that I do.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then
And of course you can block with it, and you can stab yourself with it to power it up.
that was cool.
Yeah, it's a special weapon, and it has a special animation where you literally will gut yourself in order to power it up.
Does it take out life?
Well, you're undead, so you shouldn't care.
Yeah, it does take out damage though. The thing about it though, and that kind of goes a little bit into what the sword actually is. The sword is called the Bewitched Alon sword. And the reason why there's a certain thing in Japanese culture where they believe that certain swords can take on lives of their own. And this is one of those types of swords where through countless battles and countless bloodshed, it now sort of has a life of its own. And it basically is seeking out blood. So when you stab yourself, you're kind of awakening the power in your sword because you made it taste blood. And then you go out and make it taste the blood of other people. So there you go. All right, enough of this. This is probably boring people, so I'm going to switch back to my Espada Ropera and my now powered up scimitar. Not the best weapons in the world, but I like them.
There's
And-
no thing as one specific set of best weapons.
Yeah, and I mean, in Dark Souls, there are some weapons that obviously outclass others, but ultimately, I do like the fact that if you really wanted to, you can go through the game with just a standard longsword and beat it. You really could. You don't really need to get like all these other powered up things to do it.
You're probably gonna kick yourself for that, though.
Well, yeah. Oh shit! There's somebody waiting for me there. Okay. All right.
Got invaded again?
No. I mean, it's a dark spirit, but it's not an invasion. It's just one of the new extras that they put in for New Game Plus.
Looks like one.
Stab, slash. Now, one thing I really like about the dual stance with a rapier in one hand and a scimitar in the other is that when you use the dual stance strike, he actually doesn't just swing the weapons at the same time. He swings one, then the other in succession, which is the way you would expect somebody to use it. The only time, I mean, he does have a really powered up swing where he does swing both of them at once in kind of like an opening scissor type move. Like he spins inward and then like just separates both arms and makes a chop in two different directions. But for the most part, I find when I use this weapon, not only does it really work gameplay-wise with dealing with multiple enemies, I mean, I got a pokey move and I have a slashy move, but they even work in conjunction with each other. Like, it looks like something you would expect somebody to actually try to do in real life. Like, I can poke them, open up a defense, and then as soon as they're open, slash, one hand in the other, you know? It works with my sensibilities, let's just put it that way. Anyway, there's this dude sitting here. He's a Hyde Knight. Unlike a lot of other people who play this game, I don't fuck with the Hyde Knights. It's not that I'm afraid of them. I can kill them easily. I've done it before, but they're not bothering me. So why am I going to bother them? That's the way I play this game. If you're not bothering me, I will leave you alone. I will let you live. If you look at me wrong, then yeah, I'll happily eviscerate you. But he's just sitting there.
So why are other people fucking them up?
Because when you kill them, you get items or pieces of armor and things like that. And quite frankly, the way I play this game, I don't need their weapons or their armor. So I leave them alone. And, I mean, he's looking all sad and pathetic. He's just sitting there. You know, I mean, I understand. I mean, he's got arrows stuck in his helmet. He probably can't even see. It's stuck in one eye. You know, some people bullied him. His armor's in tatters. Probably doesn't have the money to repair it. His homeland's sinking into the ocean. I mean, he's got things to worry about. Why am I going to suddenly attack him?
Maybe because you want to relieve him from his misery?
I guess I could do that, but when I start attacking him, he's not exactly happy with my, service that I'm trying to give him. Look, I'm only trying to, shuffle you off this mortal coil. Nah, he's not very happy with that.
That's what you think. Just he
does
needs
have
more
a really
time
good
to
spear, though.
Yeah,
that one drops the Hyde spear, which is pretty darn good.
Yeah, it is really good. And maybe for another character, I might be a jackass and kill him. But for now, I just don't have the heart.
It does seem like a nicer thing to just leave Sir Sad Keanu alone.
Yeah. Okay, so I shot the dog because, fuck dogs, I am not going to have them charge me while that jerk is waiting for me up there. And you can see that dude waiting for you even before you drop down here. Like, if you look,
you can actually shoot him from above.
Yeah, you can shoot him from above and just kill him, which is what I normally do. But I will fight. Whoa, what the? I forgot you were there. I forgot there were two dogs here.
And those doggies, right?
Got rid of your freaking rabid friends. Now I get rid of you. That's what you get. Now, the Lost Bastille it's not all that hard to get through, but it can kill you pretty quickly. Like this is one of those places where you really have to start paying attention, because if you just rush in, you will die real quick. And there's some really nasty surprises here. So this is one place that I definitely play as methodically as possible. Also, I might have to warp out and warp back in, because there is a certain bonfire that I want to open up, but I have to blow up a wall to do it. And the way they scripted the game, they kind of set it up so that it's almost impossible to do it unless you reset the area. The jerks. But what can I do? Anyway, I got another Estus Flask shard and a large Titanite shard. The large Titanite shard will be useful because I can use that to level up weapons if I decide to, because most of the weapons I want to use are leveled up anyway. But the Estus Flask shard is useless to me because I already leveled up my Estus as far as it can possibly go. Now, this way, leads to another area of the place, and it is a trap, basically. So I'm not going there yet. I'm gonna go this way first. I have to go through that other way later on, but for now, let's just leave the trap alone. That's the one thing I don't like about the rapier. If I'm using a slashy weapon and I roll and instantly attack, it will immediately go toward the person that I targeted. But with the rapier, it has a bad habit of, after I get out of a roll, of stabbing in any direction other than the person I'm trying to hit.
Is that a programming glitch or?
I think it's like a programming glitch, and also just the fact that since it doesn't sweep in a wide arc and it's very specific in how it swings, you know, it'll end up just making me slash outward in what direction I rolled into and not in the direction of the person I targeted.
Yeah, I think it may have more to do with the tracking on the weapon than anything else.
Yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold! Turn around! Turn around! This is getting ridiculous. I am not gonna get murdered by Fido, damn it. Okay. They're dead. I can move on.
Killed Cujo finally?
Mm-hmm. I hear another dog. Or I hear something. If I'm hearing fire, I'm hearing something in the background, but it's unsettling. Okay. Now here's the tough part. I got that dude right there. In front of him is an explosive barrel. I want to make it that when the thing rolls, it will roll down here near this crack so that I can then blow up the barrel and blow up that wall and get to that bonfire. But usually the first time you come here, they automatically make the barrel just slide into the side and then blow up. I need to keep that from happening. See? It's too late. He already kicked it down. It was a scripted event. Man, he hurt me pretty bad with that.
I usually come at him from the other way, using the bonfires where the crow drops you.
Yeah, that's what I
knock
should
it in.
have done. And in fact, I'm now thinking that that's probably what... Because going this way and then coming back is going to be a pain. And now that that thing is already set up, I might as well go that way. Ugh. Alright, let's speed through this. It's feather time. Where's my feather?
It's Dad.
Where's my feather?
Dad.
Yes.
There.
No, that's not my feather. That's an herb. That is not the feather. My son is giving me video game advice. There we go.
I think that's pretty common nowadays.
There we go. This feather you normally don't start the game with. It's something that you get toward the end of the game, but I'm playing New Game Plus, so I still have it. And that's why I said before that it makes Homeward Bones obsolete. I am now going to go through the other direction here. I mean, I already grabbed all the items on this side anyway, so there's no reason for me to come through this way anyway.
As if that's anything unusual.
Okay. So now we're going through this way. And we got that one dude walking over there. Let's not disturb him, shall we? I'll deal with him later. We do have Mr. Crossbow guy over here who's waiting for me to go into the room. But I'm not falling for his traps. I'm shooting him with an arrow to the back of the head. That'll teach you to try to ambush me. Now, we got that dude over there. We got that dude over there. Those people are normally not there. This is a New Game Plus thing. But I'm not going to bother opening up this door because I've already been here earlier and I already opened up that chest, so I don't need to bother those guys. However, I do have a set of dogs down there, and there are explosive barrels down below, and there's a barrel up here, so I'll just kick that down below. And that will take care of, well, okay, I'll at least weaken them. Some of them are still alive. I'll take care of that momentarily. What the? How did I miss that? There we go. Now there's only one left. I like those odds. Yeah, stay dead, please. Thank you. And I got a Royal Greatsword, which is actually not too bad a weapon if you like using greatswords in this game. There are better ones. Like, I think the Claymore overall might be the better one to use before you start getting into the special ones. And the Bastard Sword is also a pretty good sword. Again, if you like using the two-handed ones.
I think the Royal Greatsword and the Bastard Sword have the same moveset.
Huh.
Maybe mistaken, though.
Poke, poke, slash, 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 slash. That works for me. Now, if I was coming the other way, I would have to, like, shoot arrows at these barrels in order to get this door to open up. But now that I'm coming through this way, Now all I have to do is just be able to walk on in, and we're gonna meet an old friend of ours. It's Lucatiel!
Lucy in the sky with diamonds.
I thought that might be you. You haven't changed a bit, have you?
No, just more emotional scars, but otherwise I'm still the same.
The longer I am here, the more madness I discover.
This game is so
A
nice.
wretched place indeed, but not without traces of its former glory.
True.
What could have caused such degradation? Ah,
I'm just going through a
yes, I
dialogue.
have not thanked you for humoring me the other day. This is for you.
Yeah, when you bump into NPCs and you're friendly with them, sooner or later they start giving you gifts. And what she gives you is actually a useful
Of
item.
course, I have no idea what it is.
I find it hard to believe that she has no idea what it
Our
is or what it
land of
does.
Mirror is surrounded by enemies.
Maybe she's
and
trolling you.
constantly fought. There is only one way up in Mirror.
It's fake.
Join the Order and prove yourself in battle. My family had little fortune and no name. I had to carve out a piece of the world for myself.
Of course.
With two things. My sword and my loyalty.
No,
to
Ruby
my
Dynamite in the chat thing says, "Hey Sage."
Oh, Ruby's in? Oh my god, I haven't seen her in a long time. Hello to Ruby. Hope you're doing alright.
I was raised to wield a sword from birth. Life was hard, but
Actually,
I never gave
Ruby
it
and
a
I need to
second
hook up
thought.
sooner or later to start playing these games again.
I had swift success on the battlefield and quickly attained respectable stature. And then
Have you done a Payday 2 live stream before?
No, I have not. We should. We really should. Especially with the
jeez.
shenanigans we get through playing that game. But yeah, Ruby Dynamite, I've helped her a little bit through Dark Souls 1 a while ago after I convinced her to get the game. And I'd always wondered since if she's continued playing it and if she ever got further in it. Hopefully she did, because it's a great freaking game.
Have you heard of the undead? These
Have I
poor
heard of the
souls
undead?
affected by the curse. An undead gradually loses his humanity until his wits degrade completely. Finally, he turns hollow and preys upon others.
Yeah, I know this already,
And a
Lucatiel.
hollow can never be human again. One can skirt this wicked fate only with the help of the souls found here. Assuming, of course, that the legends are true, I can only hope that they are.
And now we get a full look at Lucatiel and we start understanding why she's here. It's obvious she is here to try to find a way to reverse the curse of the undead, because as you can see from her face, she is most definitely an undead and the curse is already taking hold of her. Now, there's something that not too many people probably know about Lucatiel, and this goes back to the development of the game and the type of hell that this game went through while it was in development. Lucatiel, as you can tell, is a very, grounded and serious character, and a rather tragic one as you go through the game. She is one of my favorite NPCs in the game because she kind of represents the theme of the game as a whole and the underlying themes that it's trying to talk about. Her trying to hold on to her humanity and questioning what does it mean to be human, especially with you losing your identity. But she didn't start out this way. Apparently, Lucatiel started out as a joke character. Before Tanimura took over, they were planning on making her a Don Quixote type character. And they even had a Pancho Villa type dude to work with her. Thankfully, they scrapped that idea, because I know I would have been pissed off to see comic relief running through a Dark Souls game like this.
That would have been really weird.
Yeah. So thankfully they changed her into the character we see now, but that weird sidekick character she was supposed to have, he's still here. And I don't know if maybe I might have a chance to show you. If not, then in a later video I'll point out where he is. But those who play Dark Souls 2 know exactly who he is. You know who it is. You may, even if you didn't know about this Don Quixote thing that they were originally going to do, if you think about what Don Quixote was supposed to look like and the story where it originates in, and think about some of the characters in the game and how they look, you should know who the sidekick was supposed to be.
I'm sorry to burden you with talking.
It's not the Laddersmith, is it?
I suppose I've grown weary these days.
Is it supposed to be the Laddersmith?
No, it's not the Laddersmith.
I'm sorry, I suppose.
It is most assuredly not the Laddersmith. Though that would have been interesting.
I'm having a hard time remembering.
Alright, I am now going to sneak behind this guy and eviscerate his kidneys.
Or is it Rosabeth?
Nope. It's definitely not her either.
It seems to be not as obvious to others as it is to you.
Well, I'll give you a hint. Think of the clothes that people are wearing. Okay, I was able to kill the dog before I even realized I was there. That makes me feel good. Alright, now I'm going to slowly sneak up behind this dog and poke him a couple of times. I can't believe that they're not noticing I'm here. I'm not that silent.
Yeah, I can't remember most of the characters in Dark Souls 2 at the moment. Been way too long since I played.
Gold pine resin, always useful. That building, by the way, that I'm looking through, we're going to have to go in there sooner or later. And you may notice that there's already a guard there waiting for me to be dumb enough to open that door, which unfortunately I'm going to have to do. There are ambushes galore in this game. So this was the guy who was mean enough to us to kick that barrel down. So now I just poke him in the back. I mistimed that roll horribly. But I was able to finish him off, so there's that. Now I'm going to try to carefully kick this barrel down, and hopefully it will not slide into the, slam into the wall. And good. That's what I wanted. So now it blew up that wall, and I can go to the bonfire, light it, and sit down, and recharge everything. Oops, I accidentally traveled to Majula because I jammed on the button so fast. Okay then.
Good thing it's not the console version with the really, really long load times.
Load times, yeah. And I had to suffer through that too. I do have the console version. I played and beat the console version, and yeah. There's a reason why I don't play it anymore. Partially because I'm spoiled by PC, but partially because those load times had to go.
Yeah, those were freaking crazy.
Okay, so we're now in a blacksmith shop. And we're not really seeing that much blacksmithing going on. We're just seeing this guy rather, disturbingly just swinging his hammer in midair. And when we talk to him, you'll realize that I don't think he's altogether there. Like, there's definitely a few screws loose with this guy.
Can't be healthy in hailing all that smithing stuff.
Why can't all be this easy? He says, I don't understand what he is saying.
We've got a wild one here. Shape up. Shape up, I say.
See, I don't know if he's talking about me or what.
Oh, that's it, yes. That's the way.
What's the way?
Dear flame, how brightly you burn.
Maybe he's talking about that little candle flame on the side, because as we will see, this guy is obsessed with flames.
Fetch a new ember. Flame.
I would have just guessed he's got schizophrenia or something. He doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not altogether there, but he is useful. I mean, we already have one blacksmith in Majula who we can repair items and buy certain weapons from, but this guy is later on going to be a lot more useful. Look, he'll sell better weapons and better items, and in my case, better arrows, since I like using arrows. But he also can infuse your weapons with certain elemental attacks, which are fairly useful in this game.
Which I guess the other smith can't.
Nope, he can't. That smith is pretty much your normal everyday smith. This guy can make special... Well, yeah, he can make special weapons for you. Though there's going to be another smith which makes even better weapons than he does. But that's a long ways off.
So the short version is, to be a good smith in this game, you need to look your mind first.
Yeah, either that or look... either you are disturbing or you look disturbing.
Yeah, because the third blacksmith is definitely the weirdest looking.
Yes. So, but notice, by the way, that he says at the end, I ought to fetch a new ember. That's a clue to the player that there is something that you need to bring him later on. Because right now, he's not doing any blacksmithing. He's just swinging his hammer in midair for no reason. Now, noticed earlier that I lit this brazier here. I made a bigger flame, and since he's attracted to flames, that made him go over here, which means I can now go to the chest he was sitting on and open it up. Yeah, the characters don't seem to mind you stealing their stuff. Typical RPG. So I got a craftsman.
Standard. If they would mind, you pretty much wouldn't get anywhere in any RPG.
Sorry, my son was asking me if he can have some Christmas soda. He definitely can. So we got a craftsman's hammer and I think what was the other thing? Damn it, I don't remember. Well, both those items aren't, you know, all that great. Though the craftsman's hammer I had some fun with my strength build character that I'm not gonna bother showing you guys. Well, actually, my video announcing that I was going to be doing a live stream a couple of days ago, that's my strength character. And you may notice he looks like he's missing a few brain cells. I did that on purpose. Like, I wanted to make a doofy character that was obvious he's not big on brains, but he's definitely big on brawn. And the ultimate goal I had with that character was to... you may remember in a live stream that I was in with you, Skull, where we were talking about really ridiculous weapon designs, and I was laughing so hard at that one weapon, which was a giant gun barrel attached to a stick.
Mm-hmm.
That game was from the Monster Hunter series, and guess what? Shibuya, the one director that I said didn't really know what he was doing when he first made the game, and yes, you can get the guy to be stupid enough to blow himself up with a barrel. He was the one who made the Monster Hunter series. So ridiculous weapon designs are sort of his thing. And while thankfully they kind of toned down some of his weapon designs in this game, I'm gonna get killed if I don't pay attention. A few of his dumb ideas got through, and one of the hammer type weapons you can get in this game is an anvil on a stick.
Nice.
Yes.
Did you not pick that up from one of the dwarf guys?
Yeah, I did. I picked up 2 of them, specifically for the strength guy. That is my goal with him. He is going to run around with an anvil on a stick in each hand.
Oh, do you have any on this character so they can see?
I don't think I do. I can check. But I don't think I do. I mean, I can check my item box later. If I do, I'll show it to them. Wait a minute. I might have it in my inventory. Hold on.
You can find anything in your
inventory out, so you should.
No. It's not in here. Because even though my inventory is huge, it's not that huge. Most of my useless weapons I dumped into my item box. So.
Well,
hey,
next time you die.
Mr. Mummy, come down here, please. Thank you for blowing yourself up. I appreciate it. Just gets me into position. Why am I missing? There we go. That's the way it was supposed to go. Now, we are heading toward a boss fairly early. This is the way I actually go through here. I always, like, blow up the wall, set the bonfire, clear up those other areas, and then I immediately go and deal with this boss. And then it's after I deal with this boss that I immediately, you know, then start exploring this area more and opening up all the other spots. Because there's some really interesting things here. Now, the problem is, when I open that door, all hell is going to break loose. And I don't like that. So I'm going to have to prepare myself to thin the herd, so to speak. So I'm going to prepare myself. I get my pyromancy flame open. And I'm going to open the door. And that dude that we saw through the window earlier, there he is, waiting for me. But he's not the only one waiting for me. I'm going to dip my toe in the water, run right back out, and they should be here any moment. How come I don't hear them coming? Oh, now they're coming. Now they're coming. And as you can see, there's a whole lot of them. Switch back to weapons. Poke, roll. This is not the way I like fighting them, by the way. I like fighting them on the bridge, but there were just so many of them that I kind of had to deal with them here. Check. Backstab them.
It's a great thing about a spear. You can stab all of them in one line when they combo like that.
Parry. Parries in this game, the timing for them has really gotten ridiculous. Dark Souls 1, there was a timing window for it, but it made sense. And once you got it, you could parry almost anything that was coming at you. This game, they made the timing for it so ridiculously tight, and then they changed when you're supposed to parry, and they changed the timing for parries for each weapon and shield you use, so
it's pretty much impossible.
I would say yes, but lately I've been noticing more and more people just running through the game parrying, and that's hurting my ego. So now I'm really trying to master the freaking way. So now I'm gonna head down here. Oh, that's new. There normally wasn't a guy down here. But it's just a regular Royal Guardsman, so I'm not really terrified of him. Now, this door over here is sort of a trap. You open that up and step forward, you will fall into a pit and die. However, some people open that door up anyway, because if you open that door and you're really good at jumping, then it can be a shortcut for you in case you die against the boss, and then just dive right into that hole and then just run right here and just go on your merry little way. Now, the way I normally do this is come up here, grab this item, which is a Soul of a Proud Knight and a Human Effigy, which again are useful. Gonna climb up here. Now, these goons were waiting for me behind the door, but I snuck behind them. So now if I'm quiet, I can sneak behind this guy and put a hole in his kidneys. And down he goes.
Theme, eh?
Again, I do not play this game fair. So there he is, he dies. And then we got this jerk over here. I cannot hurt him, however. Now, the way well, he has a friend there. The way I used to play this game, I used to keep this door locked. Because it was just like, what's the point? If, you know, if I leave that door open, then I'm going to have to fight 4 of these guys at once. So I might as well just keep it at 2. However, later on when I kept dying against the boss that's beyond that fog gate there, then that meant that a shortcut I could have had, I kind of messed up. Because if I open this door, all I have to do is just run through here, and then I can just run straight to the boss. I don't have to like keep climbing this ladder and going through this way. So I'm gonna open the door. I'll fight those 2 guys, kill them, open up that gate, and in case I get brutally murdered by these bosses, which is definitely a possibility, then I can just simply run right through here for a shortcut, and I won't have to like go the long way to deal with this.
Oh,
Yeah, the way I usually do it is, since I generally carry a long spear, I lure the first batch out onto that bridge and give them all a good stabbing, then run into that room where those 2 dudes that he's about to go stab are, and then that'll lure all 4 of them out into that doorway, and then I can just stab them all there.
That's not a bad idea, actually. So now I've opened up the gate, so next time I come here, if I have to, I can just run through here, though I'm going to have to fight through all 4 of those guys to do it. Now, I am debating if I should summon in some help. Because on one hand, it would be very freaking useful for what I'm about to deal with. On the other hand, it also, the summon that I can bring in here isn't very good. She's not that effective and gets killed off rather quickly. And not only that, every time you summon people into a boss battle, the boss gets extra life.
Oh, how nice.
You know what? Screw it. Let's bring her in. You'll see
If
why.
you summon her and then run into the boss room before she's fully summoned, I don't think it'll give the boss the extra HP.
Will she come in, though?
Yeah, because that's what Epic Name Bro always does when he summons Solaire for his boss fights.
I did not know that. But that was Dark Souls 1. I don't know about Dark Souls 2. I forgot to power up my freaking swords. Oh, shit! I overcommitted. Drink. Okay. Roll. Damn it, that was not what I wanted. Get back up here. I knew you were gonna do that. You can actually parry him, but I'm rusty and I am not even gonna try it now. Stab, die. Drink. Now, you may notice that there were 3 freaking life bars, because there's 2 more of these jerks in here.
Oh, lovely.
She was dumb enough to drop down. What you're supposed to do is stay up here, make one of them jump up here, whittle them down until the other one jumps up, and then you drop down. But she dropped down there, so now she's gonna have to fight both of them at once. This is why I say she's not very bright. She's already down to half life. I should have used the blue flame because I'd be able to use magic against these guys. Actually, technically, I still can. Eat fire. She's gonna get murdered.
Can you get them back?
I'm
under the-
trying to get their attention. They're not seeming to care. They're like, oh, we already got a trap in the corner. We're not interested in you. We'd rather go up against easy prey. Alright, I finally got one of them off her back. Roll. Ah, I mistimed that roll. And she died. Now I gotta deal with two of them at once. It's okay though.
Well, you'd have to do that anyways.
Yeah. Sheesh, before I'd have to fight three of them at once. I gotta build one of them to attack him. Now I can do it. Whoa!
One fun thing about these guys is sometimes they'll Captain America with their shield and it'll get embedded into a wall.
I kind of hope they do that because once they do it, then it makes it easier to deal with.
Not surprised.
I really don't see that actually working at all. I don't think you could really throw a strap shield like that.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Ow!
I
Plausible.
might have to try that. The two strap shields I have are not really suited for that. I mean, a 16-pound Greek aspis is not really going to be good for throwing.
Yeah, and
If you're the Hulk, that's fine.
By the way, if you may notice, my strategy is to focus on one of ours. I'm not going to just keep on dividing the damage between both because the main problem... Oh, I should have been paying attention to what I was doing.
Try to not die.
Yeah, the main problem is if I keep dividing the damage over both of them, I'm still fighting both of them. If I can kill one of them off immediately, then I just got to deal with one, and that's a lot easier. I should have been paying attention to what I was doing. That was entirely my fault that I died there. So now I look like beef jerky again. So let me
Yummy.
change myself back. Now I look a lot more healthier and good for you. Two. You gotta kill the dogs quickly, otherwise they're just gonna chase you when you go up the stairs. Soul of a lost undead. Don't know what a dog is doing with that, but whatever. Okay.
toy.
Hello, I'm right here, dude. Do you see this? That got his attention. Well, okay, you didn't
Bad.
see it.
Lagging.
Yeah, the stream is still stuck on you there.
Okay, you'll see what I
I'm
mean
caught
by
up
because I ran up and he's just standing there like, huh? What? Like I caught him daydreaming or something.
The stream has been pretty laggy.
Yeah, I'm
For a
sorry
while.
about that. And it probably isn't helping because of how long the stream is. How long have we been at this?
2 hours, 40 minutes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm going to end this after I kill those bosses. Because, yeah, people need to sleep, eat. Yeah, I know. That's another reason why I'm kind of speeding through this. In fact, I don't even know if my hard drive has enough space to keep this going.
That might be the issue.
I'm curious how it's going to look on the replay, watching it back afterwards.
I'm wondering that myself, to be honest. And I'm hacking through this guy like he's a bush. Okay. Alright, I promise to try to play more competently this time so that we can cut this off soon. Because I know it's been a very long time that I've been doing this. Alright. First, let me drink the bubbly. Then I'm going to open the door. I'm going to save my pyromancy this time for the boss. I'm going to try to kill these guys, like, quickly. Roll back. Stabby. Stabby. Roll back. This did not work out the way I wanted it to. Roll! Rock and roll!
Try to not die.
I think that has been the goal the whole time.
Well, he's not doing that great of a job at it.
It's Dark Souls. The whole point is to die.
Well, can't argue there.
See?
Good. One more left. I fear you not. You're by yourself. Good. Drink the bubbly.
Why you call it bubbly?
Just cuz. Now there's like four more jerks that I gotta deal with here. Swing, 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 swing. Damn it! I was hoping he'd blow himself up. You guys are unreliable.
They're unreliable at killing themselves.
Yes.
Oh, horrible deed.
There.
It's kind of offensive in certain situations.
What was he using?
He was using a great sword, the royal great sword. And now I got the other guys. Swing at me, swing at me. Swing, swing, swing. Damn it.
They don't even want to hurt you now.
No, they want to make sure they're away from the explosives before doing it. How dare they
Yeah,
get
because they
smart.
can blow themselves up, which is always hilarious.
Yeah, I always try to trigger that. Alright, I'm going to summon her in there again simply because she at least made a decent decoy. But I'm going to make sure to bum rush. And actually, you know what? I'm switching weapons. We're going back to the blue flames. I think I'm going to do more damage that way. At least I hope I will.
Oh, Dad. What about the katanas?
No, no katanas.
Why not?
Thank you.
I'm not going to be using any katanas in this playthrough. I'm just not.
You just showed them one earlier.
Okay, so power. No. Okay, so do this. Power this up. And then power this up. Now they're ready to go. Remember me? I'm back from the dead.
You don't say.
Yeah, this does a decent amount of damage. No, not off the cliff. I overcommitted again, but at least I was able to dodge the second blow. They do seem to be weak to magic. Because I'm doing a lot of damage with this. By the way, if anyone's wondering why I always start with a single swing before going into the double swing instead of just simply going into double swings all the time, it's because it's slower. If you start with the single swing and then go into the double swings, they come out faster. But if I start with a double swing, it's more of a wind-up, which leaves yourself wide open to getting smacked with an oversized hammer.
At least in this case, the hammer isn't comically oversized.
That's a plus.
We already knocked him down to half his life. I like that. Oh, his friend's here. Time to leave.
Bye. It was nice knowing you.
And of course, she was dumb enough to stay up there. You might want to leave. You might not want to stay up there. I'm gonna try to help you out down here, but you might live if you just drop down.
But the view is nice up there.
We want to leave.
Okay, there's only one
What's
way.
that?
Climb down! Yeah, the stream's stuck on a freeze frame of you hitting the first sentinel to near death.
That's not good. I hope that doesn't mean that something's going wrong with the program because, like, maybe like hit live or something to reset it. Oh, I just ran out of magic use.
Yeah, I am on live.
I think theoretically we all are.
Are you guys frozen too?
Yep.
It happens frequently, yeah.
I am so sorry about that.
So far, refreshing the page helped. Let me see.
And I just defeated the boss. And yet nobody can see it.
Aww.
Now
What the
let's.
hell?
I just refreshed and it still doesn't want to play, so I don't know what's happening.
Okay, I'm gonna see if the program freaked out. Warning.
No,
high
it's up again.
I'm there, caught up.
Warning high encoding. Well, I know it's on high encoding. I set it up that way.
Right now it looks okay.
Okay, so we're done. I was able to beat the boss the second time because I actually was concentrating and paying attention to what the hell I was doing. But yeah, I think those are the first bosses of the game to really say, okay, fuck you, this is Dark Souls now. I mean,
Yeah, they are a pain.
yeah, by themselves, they're not really that much of a big deal, but three of them at once, nah, that's just ridiculous. Which is why it's best to always separate them, which is why I fight the first one up there, try to go the second one to jump up where I'm at, and I whack him a couple of times until his brother shows up, and that's when I roll down, and then try to, you know, finish off the second dude, and then go after the third one. Like, just try to whittle them down. If you try to fight all three of them at once and you don't care where you're throwing the damage around with, you're gonna die. A lot. So, yeah, that's my basic strategy. Just try to keep them separated. And focus your damage on one of them at a time because, you know, you're trying to bring the numbers down. It's funny because there's another boss in this area, the same place later on, where you have to employ that same strategy. it's going to be a bunch of gargoyles, and you have to pretty much just try to take them out one at a time. Don't just spread out the damage, because you're going to end up fighting 5 of them at once if you don't kill them quickly. And then, like, not even God can save you then. So, all right.
See. Apparently, Banna Ben says it was good on the YouTube app, at least not frozen.
Okay.
Weird.
What I'm hoping is that when I stop the live stream, because it's saving all of this, what I'm hoping is that it won't be frozen on the recording of this. So
it might not.
Yeah, if that is screwed up, then what I'm going to have to do as a last-ditch effort is to take the raw recording that I'm recording right now and putting that up. I was thinking about doing it that way anyway, just in case it's screwed up, because I had no idea how this was going to work. But
I would think it's probably just the buffering for the live video, though. The recorded version should be fine.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think.
Okay, well, if that works out, then yay. If not, then I apologize. Like, for anybody watching this after this live stream, I apologize if all you saw was frozen shit, and I will make sure to put up something that isn't frozen shit. So, there you go. So, yeah, we've been up for now like 3 hours. That is way longer than I expected this to go. I'm glad that for those of you who are still watching this, that it was enjoyable. I hope it was also enjoyable for Skull and Kara. Was it okay for you guys? Like, I was really hoping...
We wouldn't be here anymore otherwise.
Yep. Always fun to hang out with you.
Yeah, I didn't really want this to like bore you guys to tears,
Nah, don't worry.
Right. I might need your guys' services again, because next weekend I would like to actually do a proper live stream and do a Q&A. It's been a while since I've done those. And some people have been asking me, when are you going to do another one? When are you going to do another one? When are you going to do another one? So, I was originally planning to actually have this gaming stream done like on New Year's Eve, and then this Saturday, like today, was going to be the QA, but it didn't work out that way. So I go back to work this week, so it's going to have to be next Saturday. My job already has scheduled me to do overtime, so I'm going to be doing from 2:30 in the afternoon to 2:30 in the morning for at least 3 days. Yeah, my job has been taking up a lot of my time, that's part of the reason why my videos haven't been going up. It's just been very, very busy. And the other thing, of course, is me just desperately trying to survive. I'm still in the red here, but I'm hoping that things will get a little bit better by the end of this month. But I didn't want to go into the doom and gloom, but this was supposed to be for fun. Like, I do this annually just for us to goof around and be silly and scream at the screen and have fun. So, but it wasn't as much screaming this year as it was last year.
Yeah, last year we did the Elysium Lois, I think it was. Frozen,
that one, there was
Wasteland.
A whole lot of screaming.
Oh my that one was great.
God. If you guys ever get the chance, I don't have to... We were up for 4 hours straight trying to beat that one area. I'm not kidding. Like, I mean, I only have... The reason why I don't have the whole thing up on YouTube is because it's 4 hours. Like, I just put the highlights up, and that itself is like, what, over an hour?
I can double check real quick.
But you can, like, check, if you guys haven't seen it, check that, and you will see why there was so much yelling and screaming in that one.
I'm not surprised. I do still very lively remember Majora's Mask on the N64. Me and a friend just alternating the entire fucking night through to get through the puzzles on the moon. Ugh. That fucking game.
Okay, I might as well show this since we're still talking, though. I'm going to be cutting this off soon because, again, this is a long one, and I know people got things to do, even though this is a Saturday. But there are, after you beat the boss, most people are instantly going to go, okay, time for me to leave. You don't want to do that. There are a lot of hidden items here in the walls that you can find. But this leads me to another kind of gripe I have with the game, and that's the secret doors. In the first Dark Souls, finding secret doors was fairly easy. You just keep hitting the walls until you found something. In Dark Souls 2, they kept that, hit the walls and you find something, but they also put in a system where you have to, like, interact with the wall to find it. So that meant that for people who were trying to find all the secrets in the game, they spent all their time hitting walls and interacting with walls, rubbing up against the walls, trying to find the doors. So it's like, pick a method and stick with it. Like, why are you putting 2 different ways to do it? And quite frankly, Miyazaki himself said that he prefers the hitting the wall thing because the way he designed it, he wanted it to be like, let's say you're fighting a bunch of creatures and you're swinging like mad, just desperately trying to survive, and you accidentally hit a secret wall. You're like, oh wow, I didn't know this was here. Like he wanted that level of discovery. Whereas you having to interact with the wall, it's not as intuitive. It's not as, oh wow, there's something here. It's more like, okay, I know there's something here, but which wall is it? So you end up kissing every wall you find.
That sounds annoying.
Yeah, it is annoying. And granted, the Shibuya, the other director who, my ire is against him for all the crap in this game, he wanted it to be in here because that was his nod to King's Quest. Is it King's Quest or King's Field? But which game?
I think it might be King's Field.
Yeah, King's Field. I'm sorry. FromSoft's, I think it was their first set of RPGs, and it was called King's Field. And the Dark Souls series owes a bit to that series. And in that game, to find walls, you had to interact with them, and they slid up like that. So that was his nod to the old series. He was like, I wanted to put that in there as a nod to the old games. This isn't the old games. This is Dark Souls. So you put Dark Souls conventions in Dark Souls, and you put King's Field conventions in King's Field.
Yeah, and Nod is all fine and good, just like Easter eggs and such, but when it affects the gameplay and just pisses off players...
Yeah. And you don't need to keep on mixing things from other games. I mean, you don't always have to mix your chocolate with peanut butter, damn it. Some people just want chocolate sometimes.
Or peanut butter.
Or peanut butter, like my friend just said. Crimson Water, that is useful for sorcerers. Just like the herbs, it restores the amount of spells you can cast, though it does more than the herbs. Now, what we're about to see, I'm going to end this at the bonfire. The bonfire is just beyond there. But what we're about to see is one of my favorite little traps in the game. It is very cruel. This is the type of stuff that is just like, you got to be mean-spirited to do this to somebody after they've just beaten the boss. Because you've just beaten the boss. Your defenses are low now. So you're thinking, okay, the danger's over. I'm just going to find the next bonfire and move on with my life. Let me just trudge along. And then the game doesn't and pulls one of these things. Now, I didn't get hit by the trap, but I tried to set the camera so that you can see that one jerk hidden behind the bars.
Yeah, I hate those guys.
He blows himself up whenever he sees you. So, you don't know this yet. If you're playing this for the first time, and you walk through and you see him behind the bars, you're like, huh, who's this guy? And you're thinking you're safe because he's behind the bars, and then he blows himself up. And if you didn't fill up your life after the boss battle, then that means you just died. Imagine the frustrator, how much frustration the player might have had the first time he goes through that, beats those 3 bosses that probably killed him 4,000 or 5,000 times. He finally gets through, walks through here, and then gets blown up by the stupid jerk in the freaking bars. And he's gonna have to walk all the way back here again.
They really just trolled.
That is just mean-spirited. I mean, it's not so much that I don't like it, it amuses me. But that's still like one of those things that I don't think any other game developer would think of doing. Like, that's just some evil shit to throw in a game.
Yeah.
And there's even more evil stuff on there, but that's definitely one of them.
Isn't Bloodborne kind of the same?
Bloodborne's worse.
Worse?
Bloodborne's hell worse. And granted, I don't have that game. I wish I did, but I don't own a PlayStation 4. But if I did, like someone had asked me before, you don't talk about Bloodborne. Would you want to play it? Yes, I would. If I had a PlayStation 4, trust me, I'd be playing the hell out of the game. I would have already beaten it several times and gone through it again. But I don't own a PlayStation 4, so I've been reduced to just watching videos of it, which meant, of course, that I spoiled the game for myself. So I know about all the dark secrets in the game. I know all about the weird Lovecraftian shit that they've thrown in. I know all about all the secret stuff, and I kind of feel bad about that, because when I play these sorts of games, I like going into them blind. Demon Souls and Dark Souls, I was not able to go into it blind because by the time I was able to get them, the games had already been out and people had already put the wikis up and the community was strong. Which is why I made sure when Dark Souls 2 came out, I made sure to have that game on first day so I could be right with the community trying to discover everything along with them. And there is a lot to discover, even though it's a bit of a mangled mess because of all the development problems they were having. I plan on doing the same thing with Dark Souls 3. Normally I am against pre-ordering games. but the Souls series has not let me down yet. Even Dark Souls 2, with all of its flaws, has not really let me down. Again, I've played through it several times, and I do still like it. There are certain things about Dark Souls 2 that I really like. The graphics, the tweaks to the gameplay engine, I mean, the sluggishness that they added in notwithstanding, the way dual wielding works, the responsiveness of the shield and sword way of play, the fact that they made sorcerers more viable, maybe a little bit too viable, but they're still, viable. Hell, you can, even if you really wanted to, you can make a straight up bow and arrow build. Like, I've done it. Like, I've gone through this game with nothing but a bow and arrow, and it was actually viable. Like, I was able to fight and win that way.
Okay, didn't expect that.
Yeah, so those are the things that I like about Dark Souls 2. Like, you're able to come up with more variations of builds, and like whatever your play style is, you will find a way to get through the game that way. Which is one of the main reasons why I still like going through it. The lore suffers in this game, and that it was a bit of a disappointment because I do play these games for the lore as well. But it's not so. The lore is not so horrible that I'm like, you know what, F the story. There's still enough in here that even with the mangled bits that are in here, there's still enough good stuff in the lore for me to be interested in it. And one of these days I do need to talk about it. Like, there's certain like Buddhist overtones in this game, as well as certain aspects of questioning the very nature of humanity itself. There's certain themes in here that make you even wonder if the path that we're taking right now in this day and time is the right path. I mean, there's a lot of interesting things in here that I found very few people talk about because they're mostly just pissed off at the fact that Miyazaki didn't make this game and the flaws it had. And the fact that the lore is a bit mangled. But the themes of the game, I think, are worth talking about, and I do need to get into that sooner or later.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, with that, I'm going to end off here. The next time I do these videos, of course, it's not going to be live. Though I am going to do a live QA. Maybe one of these days, as Demoman Chaos suggested, I might do a Payday 2 live stream. Because I play Payday 2 a lot. Anybody who has seen my Steam profile might be shocked to see that I have way more hours in that than I have in Dark Souls. Like, I have, like, I think over 800 hours in Payday 2. I really like co-op shooters. I like co-op games, period. Like, any games where you get a group of people and you all have to work hard toward a goal. It doesn't necessarily have to be a shooter. It just has to be one where people have to come together and work as a team. I'm instantly interested in games like that. But Payday 2 is the main one that I've been playing, and lately, despite the fact that they effed up royally with the microtransaction garbage they threw in, the later things they put in have really been entertaining, so I've been playing it a lot more often. I've been having a lot of fun with, I've been playing with Demoman, I've been playing with my wife, I've been playing with a few other friends of mine, and we always have a blast getting in, so I might one of these days do a live stream of that. Though expect a whole lot of cursing and a whole lot of screaming. I mean, we win, we play, it's not like we suck at the game, but the curses tend to come in like, oh shit, they just blinded me, oh fuck, 3 dozers, stuff like that.
They pop smoke again, god damn it!
Yeah, stuff like that, so. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching the live stream. I know these are never like big affairs, but I love, like, I've been getting regulars to the stream and I really enjoy that. I wanted to thank also you, Skull, and you, Cara, for being part of this. I know you guys are busy.
No problem.
I'm glad you guys were a part of it. I'm hoping to have you a part, something similar again. I want to apologize also for not being in your live stream last time. I know you had done one before, and I was out running errands. By the time I got home, it was way too late. Like, I didn't even know. Like, I was like out, like I had to, I was picking somebody up, and we were like out, and then we had to buy groceries and all that type of stuff. So I got home, and I saw the message, and I'm like, oh no.
Don't worry, that was the weirdest live stream in forever. Anyway, how many did we have? Oh yeah, 2 people, and then 3 later. And
yeah,
so,
that
what
was
the fuck?
Very unusual.
So, but I wanted to, thank you guys for that. I'm really sorry that I didn't really tend to any questions I saw in the chat. The next time I do this, I might do this later on. I'm going to make sure to field the questions in the chat because I wanted to do that, and then Cara and Skull already know the trouble I had just setting this up. So it was a bit haphazard, and yeah, I didn't get to set up exactly the way I wanted it to, but I will try to make sure all these kinks are worked out the next time I do something like this. So anyway, thanks for guys for being a part of it. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope this year works a hell of a lot better for people than it did, than last year. And I will...
Yeah, best luck to you for the new year, and you as well, Devilman.